Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 13 Card Subject Change. Zach here, Leroy here, Jesse's over there. We would like to say first and foremost, Happy Easter to everybody out there, because it is that holiday, and
it's a wonderful holiday.
No one's with the families because, well, you know what? We're all here. Leroy's done his thing in the morning.
Right.
Your family's over
my
there.
family's here.
True. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I spent. I had unfortunate death in the family, so I spent a lot of time with my family yesterday.
Which is fair.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
For
you never really want to do it like that, but
no.
hey, it is what it is. Holy crap, has a lot of news come in wrestling the last couple of weeks, both on the local level and the big level. We're going to start locally. Our boys in MAW, folks, if you are in the Twin Cities area, if you get Twin Cities CW, Channel 11, I believe.
I believe it's Channel 11 down there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be on Saturdays. MAW Warriors. It is going to be a weekly television show that they're going to be producing.
Right.
Nothing but love for those guys. Very happy for them. And,
big congratulations to Dave, Eli, and that whole crew.
Here's the deal. It was almost a guarantee that they were going to get that because good luck finding a more overall professional group of guys to work with.
And they're just growing.
They really are.
Like, it's you unless you're somewhere where 3,000 people can come.
Yeah.
You can't try to put them anywhere small. It's just not going to work.
well, and it's like what you have to understand. Here's the thing, it's a late night time slot, but it's on Saturday, so it's really not that big of a deal.
Right.
But you turn around and you say to yourself, they're gonna get more people coming to shows.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, like this can only help the ticket sales.
And if that helps them grow even more, you never know. Since it's kind of a local thing, you might start getting a Saturday prime slot for a local company.
Oddly enough, Jesse's a little torn because the station is the former Sinclair Ring of Honor spot, so Jesse's a little bit concerned about that.
You know what? At least another good wrestling company.
They did post something. I don't know if you guys saw it in Discover Pro Wrestling about next Saturday.
Next Saturday on Discover Pro Wrestling YouTube.
Okay, well, this is how they have a major lineup that they're going to work with. MAW and DP2 Reduced Ash is going to be part of this as a mega block of Midwest programming next Saturday.
Nice.
5:30, the DPW2 is going to be on YouTube. 8 o'clock, MAW Wilmer Mania, and then 11 o'clock is the MAW Warriors.
Nice.
The premiere of MAW
Premiere.
Warriors.
Nice.
So, yeah, if you want it, you got your wrestling, boom.
And then on top of that,
my God.
3 years gone, Jesse, there's some black excellence coming back up to this area. And
yes, there is.
You know what? The local scene is about as ready for it as we could be.
Oh, for sure.
3 years away at the Nightmare Factory training facility down there in Atlanta.
Right.
JDX, Justin D. Xavier, will be returning to Midwest All-Star Wrestling. Former champion there.
Wow.
I believe was champion going into the pandemic?
I believe so.
Yes,
Somewhere
he
around
was.
there?
I believe so.
Yes, yes. Or that might have been Austin Arrow, if I remember correctly.
Well, I think he might have lost it to Austin right before the pandemic.
We'd have to talk to him. And as everybody, if people don't remember, he was like, was it our second interview that we had for 13 Cards up at Fortubania 2. It is on YouTube.
Yep.
Wonderful professional. I loved it. We had a bunny incident at that time, too.
Yeah. Well,
thanks.
We meaning you.
Yeah.
But, no, Jesse,
thank you, Willie, for that. Thank you.
Jesse, I mean, I just have to say it. As a young black man, you got to be very proud of this guy.
Oh, extremely.
Because of just Jesse, he wants to get better.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to improve himself, and he's already an incredibly talented young man.
Well, number one, thank you so much. For those who don't know, I also do
has
music,
a pizza in the oven.
so I had to eat while I'm here today. But yeah, he really had a chance with some of the larger companies.
Yeah.
So to be willing to come back,
after
kind of making that name for himself during this pandemic era, is go for it. Yeah, it's a. Oh, thank you. It's really a beautiful thing, and I think once again can only help him. AEW can only help him.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see him back. I really am.
He is. You know what? It ain't it ain't being arrogant if you can back it up. And I've never seen a JDX match where he couldn't back up.
I was
going to
say I've never seen him have a bad match.
He's absolutely phenomenal.
There's probably just a couple I know he's been disappointed in, but I don't think they were bad matches.
Right, yeah. But yeah, we're looking forward to having Justin be around. Hopefully we'll get to see him again because, he'll be in the area. But yeah, folks, look, if you don't know who JDX is, the D stands for determination, whatever you want it to stand for.
Right.
Because let me tell you something, the guy is just an absolute highlight reel.
And I mean, MAW is just doing absolutely wonderful things.
Oh yeah,
right
no,
now.
they're doing great. Boy, I just realized.
Hopefully, we can get another interview with him.
Well, that and
I hope
I also
so.
just realized with this new TV slot, Jesse, the next time we have him on the show, Rampage might have a few more nicknames for you to get through.
Damn, that list is getting real long.
It really
All
is.
right, we'll just make sure you have enough to drink, enough air power, so you can do that, and
because that list has been getting longer and longer as we go.
Also, Leroy put this late on the list, but he wants to say it. Leroy, what do we have?
we got merch.
We have merch, ladies and gentlemen.
It's true.
Yes,
it's
is correct.
Damn true.
We have merch. We are going to be putting links on our Facebook page for right now. Also, links will be in our YouTube comments here coming up, where you can contact us and we can work on distribution for the shirts. We can mail it to you. We're willing to cover costs depending on how far we have to ship it. But if you would like a shirt to help promote us, we are not going to be charging a lot for these things. It's basically going to be about $20 flat for
$20
for a
and
shirt.
we can come on any number of sizes, and it doesn't take long. It wasn't a rush. I could have had it the next day.
Right, yeah.
When I put it in on Monday, Monday,
and one of the other
and
things
they had
that,
them by Friday.
Yep,
So,
and one of the other things that Leroy and I wanted to talk about was when we originally started the show, and merch was kind of a far off dream, is if you do have a certain size request, like I said, please contact one of the three of us. We are more than happy to help out with
Absolutely.
that. I mean, we're willing to work with any size issue, that you have. If we have to pay a little extra for the size, we would love to get you a shirt no matter what. As of right now, we have no plans to raise the price depending on size. It'll still be $20.
the only thing I was told is it goes up an extra $1 for sizes.
Yeah, for a little bit larger sizes.
But
Yeah.
not a big deal. The only thing
but for
that
these
it
first
costs.
runs of shirts, we're willing to cover a few more costs for you folks.
It's just going to be straight colors, simple. It's
Yep.
a gray one. Any other colors? The only fun part about that is they got to put a mat underneath of it,
Yep.
and then that costs us a few extras. So
any questions?
extra colors, it might cost a little bit, but
Yep.
the standard plain shirts, and I put the new logo up on our
Yes.
Podomatic
Yeah,
page.
saw that.
I'm gonna put it up on our YouTube or our Facebook, and
And the YouTube as well.
when I get
probably.
the shirts, I'll probably do
Yeah.
one-man moments of merch
Yeah.
and showing off our shirt a little bit because it'll be fun.
But
Oh,
yes, Jesse, one more time, would you like to throw out your social medias where people can contact you?
Absolutely. So you can find me on Twitter at JStowIsAwesome. You can find me on Twitch, Big J89, and then you can also find me on multiple platforms at just Jesse Stowe. Trust me, you'll see my big happy face.
We will be able to very much accommodate everyone that we can. If we can't, that's just the nature of the business. But willing to work on it. We have no issues with that whatsoever.
And,
So please.
and you know what the fun part is?
Yes.
I have a couple more ideas for a couple new other shirts besides this
We have
one.
way too many ideas for shirts.
And
That's
the fun part is I talked to them up already, and they go, "Ooh, so these go well, and we sell enough."
Jesse is actually working with a possible cross-brand type shirt.
Oh, I'm hoping because you got to have big, meaty men slapping the meat for about 5 minutes.
It's gonna be a good time.
You're gonna be scared when I make that dream come true for you. You know that.
Oh, I'm going to try to make
Yeah.
that dream come true.
Oh,
He's already on it.
I'm working on that one.
He is already
Just wait.
on it. All right, so Jesse,
Yes, sir.
I think we have two topics that we're going to knock out before here.
Let's do it.
We have another book report coming from you,
Yes.
which will delve into another topic. But at first, I have to ask you: controversy, does it create cash?
Not only does it create cash, but it creates evolution in a business. And what Eric Bischoff was able to do truly is, and I think even Vince will admit it, even though it pissed him off most of the time, is truly revolutionary.
Oh yeah.
The chances he took, the multiple times he could have been fired from WCW with the
Yes.
chances he took.
Yes.
And I mean, in the sacrifice it took upon, some of his family life.
I also want to point something out, but before we delve too far
Right.
deep, you were very skeptical about this book.
Yeah.
This was about as skeptical as I've seen you, because you were like, WWE has their paws in this.
Right.
They're going to do their own thing. Vince is going to make Eric look bad, or Eric's just going to talk himself up like this.
Well, I just thought it would be a little too sugar-coated.
Right.
And it was not.
No, I
It
never
was-
felt that way.
It was not only not sugar-coated. I mean, Eric Bischoff got the chance to also talk about, the sacrifices that he made in some of these decisions.
Yeah.
The decision that understanding what bringing in a Hall, Nash, and Hogan could mean, but also what it could do if not contained, which unfortunately what we all saw. And also what Eric Bischoff got to, and I think one of the most important parts of this book is understanding the intricacies of running a wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
Especially when that's on television.
Yeah.
And
Weekly.
And really, if you read the book, I think you'll also have an understanding of why Vince does sometimes the things he does.
Yeah.
Because it's just, there's so much, it's not just writing the show every week.
Yeah.
It's making sure that, one, you're not going to get taken off the airwaves.
Yeah.
Two, you don't have any issues. You gotta please all of your advertisers. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
I think what people don't understand, and it's the simplest statement. It's the simplest statement in all of TV.
Yeah.
You lose money when the show's on.
Right.
You make money when the commercials
Right.
on. That's how it works from a studio perspective.
Right.
And I think what people have to understand, and we'll get into this a little later because Tony's got a long road ahead of him.
He's got a lot.
So, do I need to do a book report also?
Go ahead and read them, and then we'll definitely get your take on it.
Okay, all right.
At some point, but no.
Because I got 2 books handed to
Yep.
me, and
I
got a lot of reading to
by
do.
the way, Allison forced me to buy it. Not that I needed to be forced to buy it.
Uh-oh.
It is the signed version of Drew's book,
Okay.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to delving into that. I got a lot of books that I got to get into here, folks.
His story, as he's told it a lot, talk about a story of redemption, but understanding he was going to get his redemption.
Oh, yeah. But
And almost losing
Yeah.
his future wife in the process.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other thing about this book, though, with Eric is I think you really understand, and it was a lot like Sean's book. I don't think you learned too many new things,
No.
but you definitely saw the stuff you already knew in a much different light.
We get to understand a lot of things on a much deeper scale.
And I think that the overall story of the book, as much as I don't think Eric would necessarily want to say it,
Right.
it's that he really wasn't always the issue.
No.
But he certainly was at fault for a lot of the things that he did. I think he got a little too close to the talent. He got a little too into himself, which is hard to do.
And sometimes when
Hard
you're
not to do, I should say.
when you're the top of the quote unquote brass,
Yeah.
basically the last decision maker,
Yeah.
sometimes getting that close is not very helpful for your
No.
business.
And I think that it's a book that really also shows, and like you brought this up, it shows that we give Vince a lot of shit for the final product, but there's pretty much a method to everything he does in his madness.
Right.
He's not a compulsive person. He's a very calculated person. But I've always said the people who aren't the Elon Musks of the world, the Jeff Bezos of the world, people think it's an impulsive thing, but in reality, it's been calculated 40 times before we've had the chance to hear about it.
Though this new thing might be a bit impulsive.
Well, when you give money to somebody who's just a petty person at times, they will use their money.
well, as I have not had any good books lately, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. But
I think especially the Shawn Michaels one you'll love a lot.
Oh, yeah. Sean,
for him finding
I've read
faith
that.
and everything like that. Yeah, I
I've
know.
read that 2-3
I'll enjoy
times
it.
over the years since I got it, and it's an amazing read. But
Yeah.
no, Eric is incredibly honest.
Yes, he
He's
is.
incredibly insightful as well. Like I said before when we did my table for 3, I would love to talk to this guy about TV. He understands how TV works. I just think that in the end, and again, Jesse, not to spoil the book because we don't want people to go out and buy it.
Right.
But Jesse, really, Ted Turner was running a business But
Yeah.
you can't run a business and run a wrestling company at the same time, and that's what's
That's
killed
tough.
everybody but Vince. That's why Vince is stuck to the wrestling business, is because, he's made it more into an entertainment thing, but
Right.
He's had to adapt a lot to what changing marketing has been.
And then,
over the years.
he also opened WWE studios, but after seeing The Rock's success, that was his way of going like, I have to give they're all going to try to do this.
Yeah.
So I might as well give them an option.
Yeah.
And so, and I think that gets, by the way, I think that gets forgotten about a lot, that the fact when he opened WWE studios, it was for his talent.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I said, that book is so fascinating. If you, by the way, get it on Amazon. There is a now I'm forgetting what it's called, but
spoken word version.
Yeah, where it can be read to you.
Audiobook.
Yeah, it's an audiobook. Do you look at Eric's career a little differently after this?
I think I gained more respect than I already had, and I already had a lot of respect for Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
Because some of this, well, I'll say 75% of this he's talked about on his podcast quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it really, it's awesome to really hear from the one guy who actually almost ran Vince out of business, because you really get an understanding of why these guys got to that kind of success.
Yeah.
But you also get to see why one guy has continued his success.
Yeah.
And the other guy ended up working for the guy who continued his
Yeah,
success.
there we go.
It's another guy in the wrestling business who turned around and said, if you try to compete with Vince, you're not going to win. You just can't. He's a machine. He's a titan of this industry. Folks, there is a company out there right now, All Elite Wrestling, that the problem with them right now is they don't realize you are not the dominant wrestling company in America. You, regardless of what you and your very, very loyal fan base, to a fault, sadly, think, you are the number 2 promotion in the country. And at the end of the day, the ratings prove it. The fact that other sports talk about Vince, not you,
Right.
That's the thing. The fact that a UFC fighter says, why would I go to that second-rate dumpster fire when I can go to WWE? I forget the fighter off the top of my head.
Conor McGregor.
No, it wasn't Conor. It was another fighter said that.
I thought it was Conor.
It was after one of the last monthly events they've had.
Okay.
But anyway,
Connor just said, "Why hasn't you signed me yet?"
Yeah, basically. but it's just, it proves that people who have way more experience in doing this, who had years of experience learning from people like the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Dallas Page, all these guys, the people that Tony idolizes, Eric actually worked with.
Right.
And in the end, even Eric has come to the conclusion, you can't fight City Hall. And Vince McMahon is the dominant personality in all of the wrestling business, and ultimately has been forever.
Right.
And back to Jesse's point, if Daddy knew what was going to happen, he never would have sold the company.
Well,
to
he
him.
would never sold it to him in the first
But
place.
I think that his dad lacked the vision that Vince had in what this could ultimately become. And I think Eric learned very early on, if you're not the billionaire themselves, there's not a lot you can do.
You're limited.
You're incredibly limited.
Now, it's interesting because what has helped Vince quite a bit is, number one, becoming publicly traded.
It has allowed them to survive.
It has allowed them to survive because then he had investors. Now, the issue with that is you've also now had to answer to those investors. He's also he's learned what the movie business has learned years ago. Well, when you have to answer to investors, sometimes you start to interfere a little too much when things are good.
Yeah.
But where Eric, like I said, I think the biggest death of WCW was the fact that those guys saw him as a best friend and not a boss anymore.
Yes.
And I think what Tony Khan is going to learn, and it seems like he's trying to learn now.
Well, the problem with Tony Khan is he's learning in an age where every person that feels slighted can just go on their phone and they can clap back at him. Eric didn't live in that era.
No.
Now, guys could go do dirt sheet interviews, but that was something that you had to go search for. Right. And if you didn't want to search for it, you didn't have to. Nowadays, it just pops on your damn, timeline.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what people need to understand is that Tony is living in an era where you listened to advisors.
Right.
They clearly were trying to get their friends better pay,
Right.
which, again, I don't fault the Young Bucks for, because that's what they did.
Congrats to them.
But at the end of the day, Jesse, it's not sustainable for the guy who ultimately has the pocketbook, because even billionaires have a budget.
They've been in the red for 3 years.
They've never actually turned a profit.
No.
And now we've heard about the video game that's supposed to come out in September. Oh, boy, if that, Jesse, I hate to say it, if that's TNA all over again, that game was awful. That TNA game was
That TNA game was so bad.
There is absolutely no reason why that game should have ever come out.
The devil deserves to burn in hell for allowing that game to come out.
Yes.
That game was so bad.
Yes.
When I saw Aaron put that up, I did chuckle a little bit. I'm like, oh God, I hope
But see,
it's not
here's
like
the
that.
thing. When you try to do it yourself and you're not known for it, look, From Software has a reputation now where they put out games where they have a niche.
Yes.
Sadly, that niche is a very self-deprecating hatred of themselves
Unfortunately.
style person. But
Unfortunately.
From Software has made some amazing games, but they've really taken the time to do this. I don't remember how long Elden Ring was in production, but they were working with George R.R. Martin on the story for a very long time because you have to go with the story that George wrote, then you have to put it into perspective. There's graphics, there's gameplay, there's this, there's that. There's 30,000 things, and then there's the typical...
And you have to make that story immersive for a video game, too.
And then there's the usual From Software where it's like, oh, right, here's a first-level creature. Oh, yeah, it just killed you, and you're like... and you've been playing this for 65 hours. Personal story.
Here's the thing.
You just got to get better.
Right.
Oh, I'm giving
Leroy.
Oh, yes.
Hold on,
Gotta
time out. That is not
Good.
hold on, here's the deal. That's not a burn to me, because guess what? This is basically Dark Souls. Nobody really gets better at Dark Souls. You just
All right,
you just know what's coming.
You literally just find ways to survive.
That's it.
You race through a lot of controllers.
Yeah.
Here's the
I'm not a
thing.
speedrunner, never claimed to be, but speedrunners are a different breed. Let me tell you something. From Software, they say we have one difficulty level and it's hard. But that's the thing, is that
I think Tony Khan, because like I said, I'm kind of done talking about his tweets. Because at some point you literally just be the boss.
yeah.
Have you harassed him lately?
No, because if I read that man's tweets, that'll make me not want to see AEW succeed.
Yes.
But I want to see him
He's become a
succeed
very unlikable owner.
because the thing is, it's just like he's always over defending his fan base. Which, by the way, if you're trying to grow,
Yeah.
let them fight amongst themselves. You
Yeah.
just focus on the growth of the business.
Which, by the way, your fan base, as Jesse pointed out last week, has become very toxic towards the wrestlers.
Listen.
And it's getting bad.
So last week I did
Yeah.
a thing on the PWL, and I know we gained some new viewers.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining.
Yeah.
13 Cards on Facebook. But basically, the discussion was this fan base has become so toxic,
Yeah.
that it makes people not even want to watch.
You hate Vince so much
Yeah.
that you latched on to Tony because Tony's one of you, but he's not. He's a rich kid.
The dude's a billionaire kid. He's the billionaires. He's Shane McMahon.
Yeah. although all reports are Shane's one of the most down to earth billionaires you'll ever meet in your life.
Sure.
But Tony comes off a lot like it's us versus them. Tony, the problem is that Vince, see, everybody gets the misconception from the Pat McAfee interview that when Vince says you have to listen to your audience, like, well, he doesn't. No, he's not listening to you. He's not listening to you specifically. He's listening to the people, the advertisers, the people that pay the money.
Well, the whole quote was, you have to listen to a fan base, but there's a certain fan base out there that I don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Because they're never happy.
But remember, Jesse, Vince is the typical big rock band.
Right.
They come out with a sound, they get a certain number of fans, but they want to grow the audience because, sadly, you have to make money to stay in the music
Right.
business. You can't make a punk record your entire life because punk is a very limited audience.
Right.
You have to make it. See, people forget Green Day survived because, yes, while they had a punk background, they were more melodic than any punk band.
Well, they were definitely a more pop band for a lot of years, too.
Well, yeah, exactly. But see, they pissed
Definitely.
off the classic punk fans, but they gained so many pop fans that they were able to survive, and now they can go back and maybe do because I think Uno Dos Tre was a version of them that the majority of popular America hadn't heard because nobody heard them until because those 3 records, they're actually very different than American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown.
And I think
by the way, shout out to our boy Mike Mercer because that is his favorite band.
Yeah, shout out to Mike.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, man. The big thing that I can't understand about AEW that I talked about is he does so much to please his audience, but he does understand he needs to grow.
Yeah.
But as I've talked about with him, you just can't. Like as Prince said, if I had more friends in this business, I actually would not be successful.
No,
because there's an understanding of I need to make sure this grows.
Yes.
Because I have my own family to feed. Now, of course, Tony doesn't have to worry about that. He doesn't actually have kids.
Well, not only that, but it's not his money.
That too.
Doesn't he have a habit he has to feed?
Well, there you
Well,
Well,
Daddy'll feed that anyway.
well, he
All
doesn't
right.
have Big Swole to sell him weed anymore, so
Well, no, we're talking about the white stuff.
that's fair.
Sugar booger, white
Yeah.
girl.
But hey, it's really easy to find that in Florida.
It's insanely easy to find in Florida. Like I said, I don't want to pay attention to the tweets anymore because all I want to see him do is act like a damn boss.
Yeah.
Which now he's trying to do. And, of course, now we hear the stories. There's problems backstage. This is why you couldn't act like everything was kumbaya before.
But see, okay, this is where I always get labeled as the guy who, because like I get back and forth with people on Facebook all the time, but Jesse has seen it and Jesse defends it because I'm looking at facts that are not facts because they're written down. They're facts because they're happening.
Right.
What part of you says this is a better product when the other 99% that isn't your opinion proves that it's not? The fact of the matter is this, is that we have documented 1,000 times wrestlers who have not been given a chance, but yet they were there day one. Look, we've never agreed on Joey Janela, but Jesse and I agree on one thing. He was never used in the way that Joey Janela got big in the first place. But the problem is that once again, you became friends with these guys.
You gotta ask
take the
before
last
you
one,
do
my
that.
God.
Jeez, buddy.
It is in his house, and Jesse will admit that.
Well, they see food and they're like, "Oh, that must be mine." Oh, you gotta ask first, man.
It's in well, Jesse did bring the food into their house. He knows.
That was my mistake.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that, folks, I get it if that's the company you prefer. But you can't sit there and say that I'm wrong when and Jesse and Leroy will admit this. Everything I've basically predicted, what have I predicted that hasn't come true or for some strange reason wasn't moved up 6 months?
Everything so far, yes. Anything new? Well, because it hasn't happened yet.
Well, here's the sad part.
It will.
Well,
Yeah, we're just waiting for it.
But that's my thing. This guy became friends with people who he looked up to. That's a bad thing. This is why reporters don't become friends with guys like LeBron James, but if you're in on his inner circle, he'll use you in projects, and then you're that person who's... Because remember, Rachel Nichols, before she had her flame out at ESPN, she was a LeBron person to where she was really always working with LeBron, so that's why she was always such a figment on ESPN, was because the biggest sports star arguably in the world right now was in the good graces of her.
Right.
But the thing is that he looked up to these people... He got into business with them, and because he didn't, I have some friends who made a business purchase. Not gonna no names here. They made a business purchase on a brand that they thought was successful.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a dumpster fire. What they should have done was hired a forensic accountant to look at the books, to do a thorough investigation of what the market is. Like, you don't just buy a business. And think that it's successful, because a lot of guys, I don't want to say cook their books, but their public perception is not always what their business platform is.
I agree.
That's the issue that Tony is sitting there not understanding. He bought a business that had no equity because it didn't exist.
No.
But what he bought was a name, and he had to fill it with people who, Jesse, let's be honest, the books were cooked on what these guys were originally making, because Tony Khan could have paid $10,000 to Joey Janela a year. That's still more money than Joey was making on bookings in the course of 6 months. Now, Joey would have still needed a little more to survive, but he would have gotten more bookings because he's been doing that anyway. But Joey Janela, under no circumstances, no offense, Joey, you're not a six-figure guy anywhere. Nobody, I don't think Joey was making six figures a year.
I think somewhere the guesstimate is a lot of these guys and gals got at least 250,000.
They were making WWE main roster money, but they weren't with the name brand that WWE had.
Which, of course, Triple H just disclosed to everyone.
Yeah, which is why I go back to Tony. Okay, the Bucks are suggesting these guys. Mm-hmm. Okay, did you spend 20 minutes calling the promoters they'd work with?
Right.
Did you spend 20 minutes looking at their act? Did you spend 20 minutes looking at the money they've... See, that's the problem. Jim Cornette's correct in this. Guaranteed contracts are one of the big things that hurt the wrestling business because a lot of guys didn't go out there trying to make money because they were already making money.
Right.
But the business... Okay, sorry, modern-day Gen Z millennial-type people, even though I am in that category. The old way is still how it all works. You have to make money to survive. Sorry, that's how it works.
Right.
And the problem is that if somebody doesn't... here's the deal. Is anyone going to deny that Roman Reigns doesn't make money for WWE?
Yeah, he makes a shitload of money.
That dude is probably actually worth like $50 million a year. For real, he's probably worth $50 million a year.
Yeah, because here's the deal. He's going over there, and he is now such a character that the Saudi prince doesn't care about DX, doesn't care about Taker and Kane.
No.
He wants the tribal chief.
Right.
He wants Roman Reigns. Now, I always said give the Saudi shows some time because he had to learn that Vince had more product to give him than just the old classic style that sadly in Saudi Arabia they're now just seeing because the 80s just got to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
But anyway.
Right.
Hey, it's a resurgence for David Hasselhoff. We all know that's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great. But anyway.
Are you ripping on the Germans?
Yes.
Okay, that's all right. I'm part German. It's all right.
So I'm 3/4 German. But anyway.
When you lose 2 world wars, that doesn't until you do some good stuff.
Yeah. But here's the deal. Tony Khan is now living in a perpetual nightmare that he needs the Coke to get out of. And no, he's not calling Coca-Cola Incorporated.
Right.
But my point is this. Tony, we all know you're Coke, not Pepsi. Anyway, how many more ways can I get around that?
Oh, man, I can make so many Coke puns.
Okay, cool. But anyway, no. There is a new woman. She is currently about to take her place at the helm of TBS.
Yeah.
For those of you not wondering, TBS is currently the channel that houses the bigger show on AEW.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And no, it's not Rampage. It should be.
Should be.
Other can.
But here's the deal, folks. Kathleen Finch is the new head executive of TBS.
Yes.
Her background is from HGTV and the Food Network.
Yeah.
Are we going to have crazy food things with wrestling now?
Let's just put it this
I
way.
hope not.
Zombie and WCW. That's all I got. Or
Might
ECW. That's all I got to say.
Dynamite a little better.
But here's the...
Well, at least catering might be better.
Yeah, well, you never
No,
know.
the show might be better.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Nope, I changed my mind because he'll have the women do it and they'll turn real sexist.
Yeah.
Nope, I changed my mind.
Nope, yeah, back off that. But here's the thing.
Wow, we might lose
Here's the
some
thing.
viewers from that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, going back to the book, these people who showed up one day at Turner, who were there because of the AOL Warner merger, they didn't like wrestling. They didn't want wrestling. They didn't care about wrestling. You lose $60 million, all of a sudden they've got all the firepower in the world to look at Ted and say, this got to go.
I will say, though, the new head, though, has kind of worked directly with the family for a while. Her family knows the family.
Okay, yeah.
I think they'll be okay. I think she's basically been informed. Like, we pay pennies on the dollar for what we get on
But
this.
see, Jesse, going back to their Smark fans, that's not a good statement.
Probably not. But like I said, because of what they pay for it,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt them. Which, by the way, I want to once again throw out that they couldn't fully hit $1 million on another large show.
Yep.
On TBS.
Yep.
Hey, I looked up. You wonder how much Roman's worth. As at this moment, Roman's net value is $13 million.
Well, but that's Roman's personal asset that
Right.
if he had to liquidate today, that's what he's worth.
Because
what he's worth to WWE is probably closer to what Jesse
he
says.
once told Vince in that little promo, "I'm worth more than this egg."
Yeah.
Yeah. I did.
Probably is.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. But I said, yeah, net for whatever at this
Yeah.
moment at this time of the year is $13 million.
Well, his cousin's
That's
worth
pretty
about
damn
110 million, so you know. But anyway, Jesse, I'm not saying
That
that
guy's
she.
going to be president, though. So that's
Yeah,
different.
exactly. Young Rock is a straight presidential campaign.
It really
you
is.
can't tell me it's not.
It's
But-
great. I
but-
love that show.
But Jesse, I'm not saying she's the downfall, but she also is going to be that person that looks at Tony and says, less blood, less this, less
Oh, I
that.
agree. That's coming.
Yeah, because folks, and John, again, nothing against you. Glad you're doing better. Without the blood, you got to find yourself personality. Anyway, I stole it from a meme. Before you people say it, I stole it from a meme. But no, it's just, folks. Jesse, Jesse, is it not eerie to watch the backstage of Dynamite and still, not freaking look at that? Yeah, I saw that. But Jesse, you look at that and you're like, it's like I'm watching it played out in a documentary.
To be fair, he said it. Eric Bischoff said it.
Yeah.
He's like, there's a lot of eerie similarities.
Yeah.
Oh,
You said last week Tony needs to read that book.
Right.
Tony Khan, you've worked with Eric. I know you got a copy of that book somewhere.
It's very eerie.
It's
Woo!
I grew up watching this and seeing everything happen. And as Tony said, and I got it up here, he doesn't like writers. The wrestlers are writing their no. It
Jesse said it.
doesn't
Jesse
work
said it
that
in his book
way.
report. Part of having the writers is the writers have been briefed on what you can and can't do.
Exactly.
The writers have been briefed on, I need a 3-hour show, although Seth was right. I think it needs to go back to 2 hours. But again,
It won't because they make more money off ads on 3
well, but here's the
hours.
deal, Jesse. You said this early on in the show. The 3 hours was more USA putting an extra hour to it.
Right.
That wasn't Vince's decision. That was USA saying,
Right.
I want another hour.
No,
now,
right,
I think at the time they should have just put like main event on, but obviously, that was what it was. But no, it's just, Jesse, it's so weird to watch what's happening on. But remember, it's happening live because of Twitter.
Right.
You look at what's happening. Tony's saying similar things to what Eric put in the book, but it's out there for everyone to see.
And like I say, though, the only difference right now for Tony that Eric Bischoff didn't have is he's got $1 billion support.
But Jesse, here's a question:
And here's the thing, and like I tell
when will
people,
Daddy
that-
stop feeling like a bad parent?
I don't know because until he does, like he's
many-
going to continue to support.
How many years
everything.
of guilt does Tony Khan have in his father? That's the real question.
Maybe what is he 42?
Close to it, yeah.
So maybe it's that much. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. But it's a weird thing for him to say, I don't like writers. Well, Tony, the other thing that writers do, whether it's good or bad, there's a lot more consistency. Because once again, you had another show this week that we'll get into. It was all over the place. The hell was this?
I mean, it was so. There were some good things.
I am not saying
it
there
is
was
my-
not some good
It
things.
is my normal thing to say this about AEW. It was some good things. There were some horrible things, and it still feels like Kevin Dunn is actually booking the show.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I just
Yeah.
heard about the lights going off.
Hold on. No, hold on.
And I heard that was the worst thing about the whole show.
We'll talk about that once we get to the end of the show. But here's the deal. Okay, before we get into the actual
we'll
Dynamite,
definitely
here's
get
the
into
deal.
I know,
it.
yeah.
We'll get into it.
Here's the deal. Tony, just look, I know we get labeled as haters. I get it. But I'm not a hater when I make comments because I'm only speaking truths or I'm speaking my opinion and everyone's like, well, you just hate it. I'm like, no. Because I've seen the writing, not on the walls, in a book that was from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was from 20 years ago.
Right.
All the stuff was from the 90s and the early 2000s.
Right.
Folks, you don't want to admit that this is trending in the wrong direction. They haven't made a profit since they got on television. And by the way, how do you not make a profit when the TV company is barely paying for your shit?
I actually think because like I said, I don't think they have to worry about being taken off the air unless they really screw up. But
Yeah.
I do want to say, business wise, and that's where Daddy might come in at some point.
Yeah.
You gotta turn a mega profit
Look,
Oh, definitely.
Look. The Jaguars, for better or for worse, are a pro sports team. They're going to profit no matter what.
Well, I'm about to say, plus the TV money that they get and stuff like
Yeah.
that. The sports teams always turn a profit.
But-
I mean, I hate to say it. When the Jaguars get beat by 30 on a CBS game at 4:00, they're making more money than Tony has ever made in
Right.
AEW.
Well, I gotta, as you see, people are calling us haters. Okay, before we started doing this podcast, and we just post on Facebook, you can call us haters. Okay, we got to remind everybody we're doing this because we love wrestling.
Yes.
And we're not criticizing and we're not hating on AEW all the time. We do it for everybody. We are being critics of the wrestling world.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we see a lot of problems with AEW.
Well, it's not only that we see a lot
and
of the
we
problems.
emphasize it.
They have problems.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no way, Matt. Okay, first of all, Tony, we got to talk about your business practices. First of all, just grow some balls and cut people. Don't just stop texting them and then let their contract
let
run
the contracts expire. Because that's basically cutting them anyway.
Yeah, but here's the
Yeah.
deal, Tony. You're literally ghosting people like a pestilent. You're basically the Kyler Murray of professional wrestling.
What?
And Jesse knows exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Well, hey, you don't ghost Nick Fury, all right? You got to remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, you love that one, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah. Spider-Man.
that was a bit-
Yeah, hey, I had to put that in. I'm sorry. The kids were watching that just in the car,
that's
so I
fine.
had
But
to
my
say
point
that.
is this: is that Nick Khan actually has called wrestlers. He's told them we're done. Of course, he has to give them some corporate excuse because by giving them a corporate excuse, the shareholders can't get angry. But Tony Khan can't figure out that just call someone up and say, look, I'm sorry. We had some good times. It's no longer working. I'll see you later. But he can't do that because every wrestler who's been released, because that's the word we're using now, they literally all have the same story. He just stops communicating with you.
Right.
He doesn't take your call. He doesn't text you. And the only reason why he called back Chavo was because, dude, that's a legend in this business that you just ghosted.
You can't burn.
You don't do that. No.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know La Parca can burn people and still go back to work in Mexico. Tony, if Chavo Guerrero says no to you in Mexico, you ain't going to Mexico.
No, his dumbass kids did that.
Yeah. And Daddy's gonna have to do some damage control on that.
I'm sure Daddy's gonna have to beat some ass and talk to people now.
Yeah, which is so sad.
but damn, how do you guys mess up your father's name like that? Anyway,
Yeah. Story for a different day.
Right.
But no.
I think the most damning thing when it comes to the AEW stuff really is this.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to get over the fact that because it's not Vince, that you have to over support something.
Yes.
Because trust me, I love all pro wrestling. I love WWE, but damn, do I get on here and on my own stuff
Yes, you do.
and get on terrible shit in WWE all the time.
Yeah.
But that's just because, once again, I want it to do well.
Yeah.
That's all. Like I tell like I said, I was talking to the PWL. We got quite a bit of hits after I did that.
Yeah.
And
I saw your live. I saw some. I was busy doing stuff, so I got some of it. So.
I was only able to do that because the car wasn't working properly. But so I found some time where I'm not actually doing contract work.
There we go.
Well, sadly, the weather keeping me in sent me to a boredom trip to Amazon, and I've got a stack of CDs I have to go through.
But yeah, so because the one thing I kept saying was, at some point,
Yeah.
as a diehard, what you're gonna run out of is excuses.
Yeah.
Because the factions no longer support any opinion you have.
Well, but
to-
see,
to
quick
fight
question.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
another opinion.
Well, but see, quick question. Before we get into the results of Dynamite, because there was some great stuff, like you said,
Yeah.
and then there's some stuff I really have some questions
There's some
about.
horrible
But,
stuff.
but
I,
here's the.
I heard about it all week.
But Jesse,
Here's the fucked up part. Saturday apparently was a really decent show. I watched it on the rebound when I got home.
Yeah.
Because, man, how quickly does a broadcast get on YouTube?
right,
I've never seen that before.
right. We'll talk about that in a second here. But no, it's just. But Jesse, back to your thing. Where are these defenders actually right? And I'm being serious because here's the deal. When I say WWE
Right.
is better, while that might also be my opinion, I back it up with facts. when you say AEW is better, you have no facts other than fuck Vince, fuck this, fuck that. Like, all you have is, I don't like what WWE is doing. That's it. There's no scientific evidence. There's no ratings evidence. Screw this key demo bullshit. Because, by the way, Raw's actually been killing in the key demo recently.
I have said this about AEW recently. Like I said, it was the one thing I could give them until the last 3 weeks, by the way.
Yeah.
Was that sometimes there's more wrestling, and because there's good wrestling going on, it felt better than Raw. Because it was just like...
Yeah, I agree.
Raw, I think Raw, like, over a month ago, literally had 12 minutes of wrestling, and most of it was talking.
Well, but you also have to remember, Vince.
And when you're watching that live, that is hard to get through.
Yeah.
But, by the way, I'll shot at reviewers like us. If you're not watching it live and you're still complaining about that, well, just fast forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Hulu.
Because I watch it live and suffer through the shit.
Well, I watch it live on Hulu. I have Hulu Live.
I mean, I literally watch it live on Monday right from my room. So, listen, they don't even have that anymore.
No.
They book like WWE at times nowadays.
Oh, do they ever?
And not in a good way.
No. All right, so we have to get to this. Well, Leroy, while I go through the card with Jesse, could you look up the ratings for this week's Dynamite? Because like Jesse said,
okay.
I think
you had a chance at 1.5 here. You really did.
I think it said 999.
Okay.
So they didn't even hit 1 million again.
Yeah. Which, by the way, folks, no, I'm not giving. This isn't golf. I'm
I
not
love
giving
jelly
you.
beans. You cannot have jelly beans.
Yeah,
around
no,
me.
it's a bad idea. But by the way, folks, no, this isn't golf. I'm not giving you a gimme stroke. You missed 1 million. Just deal with it.
You just clearly missed it.
Yeah, you missed
again.
it. All right. To open the show, we had Punk versus Penta Oscuro, which, by the way, good, but why? Punk is just going down the list of people right now.
Also, let me throw this out there. Because this is what got me in the PWL Live that day.
Yeah.
Aaron Bowles McMahon, as I like to call him,
Yes.
was absolutely right. There was a pretty damn bad botch in this.
That botch was painful to watch.
And no one there booed it?
Nope, not a soul.
No one criticized CM Punk. No one even wanted to talk about it after the show.
No, not at all.
And I understand why Aaron was like, yo, hell no. Because, like, a botch happens on Raw or SmackDown. We're talking about that shit all week.
We're talking about that shit 5 minutes after it happened.
I know we don't talk about the Bucks as much because that's just normal for them. Mm-hmm. But because of CM Punk, go ahead.
Yeah, the audience was down slightly from their average, 977. 989 has been their average.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Okay, so 977.
So I was off by 20 million.
Well, 20,000.
Oh, 20,000.
Well, but Jesse, that might have been their peak, but their average across the board is what people look at.
Okay.
But back to your point.
And their lovely demo was 3.37 with that lovely age demographic demo. Whatever.
The only thing. But by the way, Raw.
And that went down again.
By the way, Raw's been doing 0.63 average in that demo, so you got nothing to hold on to. But Jesse, please continue.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can't really judge the demo because the demo is based off of what Nielsen can rate as far as who owns the boxes and all that shit.
Well, they have more ways of doing it other than that, but you are correct. The majority of it, the majority of it comes from people that do Nielsen households. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I will say this: so CM Punk has this botch.
Yep.
And we just don't talk about it.
Silence.
I'm like, that's inexcusable.
Yeah.
That's when you know. And by the way, people started to turn on the AEW hardcore fan base this week because of that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How are you guys not talking about that? That was horrible.
How was that not on every wrestling?
Damn near injured, Penta.
Yeah. And Penta's not a dangerous worker.
Penta and CM Punk are two of the best workers. But his botch almost hurt, dude.
Yeah.
Slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
As Brock Lesnar once said after punching Braun Strowman in the face.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Slow down, kid. Bring it back, kid.
But yeah, that can't happen.
No, it can't.
The Marina Shafir stuff. Are you kidding?
No. By the way, that got less press than anything.
you got Marina Shafir to fully commit to AEW.
She did.
She could have went to Impact.
Could have.
Now, I understand WWE let her go, but that was actually at the request of her and her husband, and so they let her go.
Yes. By the way, once again, if you're not watching Roddy in the UK, that's
that match was excellent.
That's on you.
There's just nothing to talk. I keep telling people, I'm like, you can literally get Peacock for free if you have a cable, or hell, even if you have like Sling and stuff like that, you can basically get a premium free version.
Or it's like $5 a month for
which is the
everything
$5,
WWE
which
has.
is the $5.
Yeah.
But it's $10 if you want none of that stuff,
Yeah.
at all. But as
Yeah.
far as ads, but if you don't want to get Peacock to watch the WWE UK, that's on you, bro. That's and if because I know USA has also been talking about maybe putting it on USA the next day, like in the morning. Well, if USA gives you that option and you still don't watch it, that's on you, because it's excellent every week. But you get Marina Shafir. I mean, absolute killer. Has been working with Serena Deeb because, she actually learned to work safe in WWE. So
She did.
Now they got her working with.
Well, but
Serena.
again, we've talked about.
You know what? That's not fair to Serena. Serena's a very safe worker. But I was trying to say, like, now you want her to work with AEW talent to kind of put on an indie match, which I love indie matches, but you're supposed to be a professional wrestling company, right? Anyway, you have her come out.
Yep.
First of all, apparently
Was that on Rampage or was that on?
that was on Dynamite.
Was it on Dynamite?
Sky Blue needs to follow in Cora Jay's footsteps.
Yes.
Because you're getting jobbed out, you're getting embarrassed because you're incredibly green.
By the way, I actually asked this question in a very pro AEW chat recently. Can anyone tell me what Cora Jade was doing in AEW before WWE got them?
I mean, I can tell you.
Silence.
I was about to say, I can tell you what she was doing.
Well, it's because you actually watch Dark.
Right.
So we got crickets. Yeah. Do you watch the YouTube show? No. No, well then do that.
Yeah,
I actually do. So
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah, you do.
As I tell people, I'm like, when I come to criticize AEW, I come with some stuff. With
Can I also
me.
point something out? JDX, we talked about him earlier in the show. Another example that just like you didn't sign him. Okay, and now I know. Again, you have no idea what talent relations actually.
You literally let Justin come back home, which is insane.
Yeah. You want to talk about a guy who deserves a six-figure just attempt. And I'm serious. When you look at some of the people that got six figures, Justin is leagues above these people.
Well, now they're inundated with not only Ring of Honor talent, but former WWE talent. But we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of on right now.
Well,
But
and you know what else? They're also now integrating with former Mark Cuban talent. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll get there, Jesse. Tease it.
To be fair, though,
Yeah.
WWE did sign him first.
Yeah. Yeah.
People do forget that WWE did sign him first.
No. Not denying that. I'm just saying this
That was kind of a Vince McMahon project at first.
Yes, it was.
But
And then it's not. So they
and then
wised
it was
up.
a Cody Rhodes project, and then he even Cody still owns the school. So
Yeah.
here's the thing, though. What's insane is you get Maria Shafir. First of all, the lighting needs to change on the entrance because I've been watching her on Dark and Dark Elevation. Now, what's nice about when they're for Dark is that they're in those old TNA studios in Orlando.
Yeah.
So they can kind of play with lighting, play with how they, come out to the ring.
Yeah.
And you still haven't thought of just putting a spotlight on her with the classic music that you got for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're gonna keep the lights up.
Yeah.
Instead of putting the light to make her feel even more intimidating than what, because by the way, she could legitimately whoop these women.
Mercedes Martinez, I mean, I get it. They cut her, but she looks so much better in NXT than she ever has in AEW. Just from the entrance alone, Mercedes Martinez came out, and you're like, this woman could legitimately hurt somebody.
Like I said, she was one of those WWE cuts. I'm like, you're half lying to me if you tell me she's too old.
Well, but here's the other thing, Jesse. We all admitted, though, that she was never really a WWE style.
She was
person
never
anyway.
a WWE style, but she could work a match.
Oh yeah, all
and she
day.
actually had
she
great
can.
charisma. So, but she comes out.
Yeah.
Damn, they're crickets, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Sky blue,
You know what's interesting, Jesse? That
greener than grass.
yes, looks amazing.
Greener than the grass Jordan Grace would lay on to take a sexy photo. Green.
And that's basically
Really green.
And that's basically just AstroTurf.
Right.
Well,
It's ass turf at that point.
there you go.
She could lay in anything. I don't give a shit.
And So you,
And my girlfriend is okay with that.
and so you put her. It was supposed to be a squash match.
Yep.
Sky Blue seemed lost the whole damn thing.
This looked like somebody was calling the match from the crowd. The way Sky Blue was moving.
Oh, and then you did one of. This is a cardinal sin in pro wrestling. When your announcer, because apparently you didn't tell Jim Ross what the hell was going on, or he just doesn't care to come to meetings anymore.
I wouldn't blame Jim for that. No one listens to
So
him
they
anyway.
have the quote-unquote baddie section for Jay Cargill.
Yes.
Which is actually a half positive thing because there actually was like a couple of dudes in there last week.
Yeah.
And they were like bigger dudes like us. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what, Jay? Good on you. That's pretty cool stuff.
There we go. Yeah.
Jade has been very good to her fans.
Right. And so
She really has.
this week, though, they just kind of did the mostly women, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they had two of her rivals in there, Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet, which makes no fucking sense because she was just fighting Red Velvet 2 weeks
Well,
ago.
but to be fair, they have to pay Red Velvet for showing up. So, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Listen, as I told people, I hated that WWE hoarded talent, but if you're making $300,000 to eat catering every week, what are you really bitching about until you can get your release?
exactly.
Well, I like red velvet cake.
Because they literally have to pay them for showing up.
Yes.
Because otherwise, they don't have to pay you by telling you to sit home. And then I understand getting pissed off.
Yeah.
So these two are now in the baddie section cheering on for Jay Cargill against Marina Shafir.
And by the way, there was no episode on Elevation, episode on Dark where they made up or they became friends.
Nope.
Or whatever. It was just you were in a match where, and again, Red Velvet seems to have a beef with every person in the company.
Right.
But you have this issue. They're in a match. Was it like just the other week or something?
It was because the pay-per-view for them was, what, a month ago?
About that, yeah.
Yeah,
so
about
it would
that,
have
yeah.
been a week, or the week of the leading up to the pay-per-view.
Okay, so about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then again, folks, if Vince will sometimes make a cop out and it'll be somebody bumped into you at catering.
Right.
But he gives you something to why they don't like each other.
But these two just now are together.
They're just cool.
That's why they have writers.
And then-
Oh, God.
That's a dirty word when you're in AEW.
I know.
To give my guy credit, I was going to call him Tempest, but nah, hell no, not Tempest.
Sean Ross.
No, my mass announcer.
Excalibur.
Excalibur.
Sorry, yeah, Excalibur.
Even he at first was like, well, why would he's
He-
like, why is Red Velvet in the baddie
his
section?
commentary is bad, not anymore because of just his cadence that I'm still not a huge fan of. His issue, which by the way, the cadence goes away on Rampage. I don't fucking get it.
Because with Taz, it feels more natural.
Right, exactly.
I keep saying the 3-man thing for them on Dynamite is
Yeah,
terrible.
it's not working. But here's the other thing. His commentary is getting weird because he's asking obvious questions live on television that no one's in his ear saying, "Don't do that. Don't say this. Don't say." Like, okay, folks, I sat behind the announce desk at Raw. I see the script. I know what's happening.
Right.
I'm not stupid to this.
Right.
But Pat doesn't have it, but there's a reason for that.
Because they love those natural reactions.
But let me make this very clear. Excalibur is not to the level of Pat McAfee. He's not.
No.
And Excalibur is literally asking questions that every wrestling fan needs to look at and go, yeah, no, that is kind of weird. And when was that explained?
And here's the worst part of the cardinal sin in wrestling that's about to come up. JR literally, you could almost hear his head turn to Excalibur when he asked about it, and he goes, "No one knows why. She's just there."
Yo.
I heard that. I
I'm
heard
like,
about
what
that.
the fuck?
You know, here's the deal. As much as
I
I'm
love
on
JR.
Jim's side, if Tony were to fire him for quote unprofessionalism tomorrow, it would almost make sense. But the problem is that Jim can't do anything with what he's been given.
Jim, just go work with Japan again. This is clearly beneath you. He literally, I swear to you, Leroy.
Is it weird, by the way, that you talk about going to work Japan? Is it weird that WWE might have a better relationship with GCW today than fucking Tony Khan does?
That is crazy.
That is a
isn't it?
weird
That's
ass
weird.
thing to
That's
say.
really
Stephanie
weird.
McMahon actually, and like, here's the thing: Stephanie McMahon said good things about GCW.
Yeah.
So if they have any interest in working, it would just be okay. They'll work the first half of the show.
Apparently, Paul was sent to go meet with, I forget his name.
Brent Lauderdale,
I think something like that.
Brian Lauderdale,
To go
I think
meet
it's
with
one of those two.
them
Yeah.
to maybe do some stuff.
Here's
So,
it, but Jesse, as you've said, GCW
So
shows they'll do a
intriguing.
lot of early early show WWE stuff. So
Right.
so they might say, hey, we don't want our talent to do the deathmatch stuff, but they can come work the opening of the show.
Oh, and then like, hey, if you're gonna let them bleed, just tell them be careful because the insurance is gonna be on you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's where WWE seems to be headed. Like, you can go work indie stuff.
Can you imagine
want,
if WWE
they gonna need to pay
literally
for your
tomorrow
insurance.
just announced we are now open for business with anybody? AEW would be screwed.
and by the way,
That would be the death blow to AEW.
I don't want to get to the other topic, which is the big announcement, but I'm just going to spoil it real quick. They now have a semi-working TV relationship with New Japan because New Japan actually put out the presser.
Yes.
Basically, you'll be able to watch Dynamite and Rampage on New Japan.
But anyway, back to
But-
so back to this.
So it has nothing to do with the super show they're doing.
They
maybe.
were probably always going to try to get a couple
Yeah.
other guys on that anyway.
Also, Jesse, I'm sorry, I have to ask you your thoughts on Jurassic Express versus Redragon.
I've never seen a group of 3 guys become clowns so quickly.
It's bad.
By the way, I fucking predicted what would happen to Adam Cole, baby. And I say that to his wife, baby. Or his future wife.
Bitch.
I predicted exactly what would happen to him.
So did
he
I.
would not win this feud.
No.
And he's going right to the damn
You
mid-card.
didn't even have a fucking Texas death match. Allison's sitting there watching it like, isn't this kind of just a last man standing match? And I'm like, yes!
Yeah.
Which is not a Texas death match!
Nope.
So apparently, we thought it was Lance. I have to say this for one sec. Apparently, we thought Lance Archer was now the master of the Texas Death Match because he's in all of them. But now apparently, to make him a cowboy, he has to have the Texas Death Match. Which, by the way, outside of Terry Funk, the closest thing to a cowboy that's ever been in a Texas Death
Right.
Match. Texas Death Match has never had anything to do with fucking cowboys.
Right.
But apparently, we're just going to call it a Texas Death Match, and he's the master of the Texas Death Match because we need to make him into a cowboy, even though, Tony, you're the wrestling junkie. It's never been about cowboys, but apparently you think it's about cowboys.
Then I heard he put like a barbed wire helmet on.
Oh, you want to tell me that this was good for Adam Cole, ladies and gentlemen? No, Jesse, hold on, Jesse. I officially have to say this for the first time on the show. I bow to you, sir, and say this: the hug was not as bad as this.
Told you.
It actually was not.
Told you.
Because this match was so garbage on Rampage.
I told you.
This was so shit. And by the way, this was the smallest I've ever seen Adam Cole look. Like, Paige actually looks like a legitimate body.
Right.
Still doesn't look like a world champion worth a blood nickel.
No.
But this was the worst Adam Cole's ever looked. And now we're back to Redragon because, Jesse, these guys didn't want to re-sign for what reason? Redragon would still be in the tag title matches.
I literally think they didn't re-sign because Bobby Fish got cut. And I think
But that wasn't anyone's fault but Bobby's body just letting him down.
And here's what I was going to say here. I think if Kyle would have went to Papa H,
Yeah.
and might listen, I kind of want to get back in the tag division. I need my guy back. They would have made it happen.
Oh, they would have brought Bobby back.
They
Yeah.
would have brought Bobby back easily.
Yeah.
They probably would have been like, listen, well, we'll pay you $850 a year plus bonuses, $850,000 a year plus bonuses. But because Kyle needs you, so we can put you guys in the tag division.
Yeah,
And I think that would have been it.
I'd do it.
The only, the times that Bobby Fish got hurt were in matches where it wasn't traditional tag team stuff.
Right.
Sometimes it was the single stuff. Really, Bobby, I hate to say it, as talented and as much as I love myself some Bobby Fish, and I do, I think Bobby needs to stay in a tag team because his body has never been able to survive having a singles run. Because Bobby Fish arguably could be one of the best Ring of Honor people of all time, but his body never let him have that kind of run.
Here's the worst part about that tag team match.
Oh, God, was it bad.
To me, the worst part about that match was it was predictable.
Yeah.
And if you got excited by that match, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Because when I can sit there and call the moves that are about to happen during a match, I can't enjoy it.
I totally agree. If I can watch WWE and I go, oh yeah, they're gonna do this, they're gonna, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I've been in the front row of a PWG show way back in the day where they told me where a spot was coming, but I didn't know the rest of the match.
Yeah.
So I still got to enjoy it, even knowing that the spot might be coming. And that hey, if I got hurt, that's on me. They did come and tell me that's on me now.
Well, yeah.
But we look forward to that because we were crazy.
Well, but you guys.
We did. We were fucking insane.
Well, but you guys basically got a pamphlet with your ticket that said you're gonna get hurt possibly.
It was almost like being at an old school ECW show. Like, listen, you're gonna get warned. Hey, move back.
Yeah.
You don't move back, that's your ass.
Yeah.
But we're still doing that when we go to the show. Hey guys, we're gonna do this spot, and we find out an hour before the show starts. All right.
I found out 5 minutes from Eli. Don't even give me this hour bullshit.
Well,
I wish I would have known an hour before I had to do that.
yeah, that one, yes. The last one that you get that everybody can enjoy next week.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a little bit more time on that one.
Yeah, a little bit more. But anyway, no, Jesse.
I'm gonna enjoy that.
No, Jesse. But again, are you telling me, boys, that this? Are you telling me the grass is greener? Are you really telling me that? Because here's the deal. Okay, let's say for 5 seconds they actually believe it, which I think to a point they do. Then, boys, I've got nothing left to say that you want to do this crap over what they were going to give you eventually.
I think you would have been multiple. It's the same thing. By the way, I don't want to hear from the other half of the Good Brothers, not named Luke, anymore. If not for AJ and WWE, no one would give a shit about you, Carl Anderson.
Not in America.
So I want you stop taking your shots.
Yeah.
Because you were able to now go make millions and millions of dollars because AJ said, "Hey, I want my boys here."
Yeah.
And Luke Gallows was like, "Listen, we've kind of changed our tag team style to a hardcore style, and if we can bring our physical style," and Vince said, "Cool."
Yeah.
Luke hasn't said one bad thing.
Oh, Luke's not that stupid.
And you keep running your damn mouth. I don't want to hear from you, bro. Anyway, the
Machine Gun talks like it.
And that's why you lost your hot Asian wife, who I'm going to slide in her DMs at some point. But let me be very, very clear here about this.
I hope the best for you, man. I hope the best.
I'm going to get me an Asian wife. Here, what I do not understand is I should not be able to call your match. And then,
which is funny because you used to be able to call Becky's matches because she just yelled it so loud.
Well,
because
Yes. She has to learn how to be quieter.
Well, seriously, you used to watch a Becky match with me. I'm like, this is what's about to happen. You'd be like, dude, how'd you know? I'm like, I can literally hear her through the damn TV.
He's like, hey, Seth, yeah, she can be loud when she's home with you, but tell her when she's wrestling, just be quiet.
But now they go back to obscurity.
Yeah.
Because
why? Well, no. That's the sad part. They're going to be prominently featured the next fucking time they're on Dynamite.
Sure.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to look at the screen and be like, why? They haven't won shit since they've been here. And forget the titles, they haven't won a match.
No.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure they've won like one or two, but like nothing prominent, nothing that I'm supposed to care about.
Well, nothing on Dynamite.
Exactly. But it's just no. This is the schizophrenicness of Tony. He's still going to make Re-Dragon prominent the next time that they're on Dynamite. But if you look at Tony and be like, Tony, why them? Pick someone you haven't buried 47 times on television.
I don't disagree, man.
I mean, come on. But yeah, this was predictable. It was what it was. MJF versus Captain Sean
Did
Dean.
Maria Shafir win her match?
Yes. She beat the crap out of Sky Blue. Absolutely.
No. I mean, because was the Jay Cargill match Saturday?
Yeah, because it was
it
was Battle of the Belts.
Battle of the Belts. So yes,
because like I said, I haven't finished watching the Rebound show.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to look that up for me to see if
Maria
Shafir won that match.
But anyway, MJF versus
was that on Battle of the Belts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
MJF versus Captain Sean Dean. This was kind of a look. I'm actually enjoying MJF with the whole Wardlow thing.
I was gonna say, what's gonna be the most interesting thing? Does he ask for his release after he's done putting over Wardlow?
He might.
To me, that's going to be the big thing.
Because here's the deal. I think he's actually so angry at this point. I think he might just be willing to make Wardlow a star, get Wardlow paid, and then go to Tony and be like, fuck you, I'm out. I'm not waiting a year and a half. I'm not waiting to go sign big money. You either pay me big money now, or I'm going to go to WWE where, guess what? WWE might only put him on a... Now, here's the deal. He might just out of spite take a six-figure deal from WWE, but he's going to make Vince so much money that eventually Vince is going to tear that up.
He'll get re-upped.
Well, because, okay... okay, it's interesting when we talk about this because of the whole MJF on that podcast thing, Jim Cornette talked about with Brian last, and he brought up a point that I think a lot of fans don't realize, and I don't think Leroy remembers this. Stone Cold Steve Austin is 6 months removed from the Ringmaster. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a year and then take him off TV for 6 months.
Right.
That was 6 total months removed from becoming Stone Cold. You think that Stone Cold Steve Austin was still making the Ringmaster money after that gimmick got over? No, Vince tore that up and said, "I'm going to bonus the crap out of you."
Right.
But that's the thing. Jim brings that up, and I'm sitting here like, oh shit, yeah, that, I don't think Steve was still going to work for the same price as he was on Ringmaster money. So that's my thing is that, dude, I'm with you.
All the Austin 316 shirts you started to see. No.
Yeah, no. But see, that's my thing. This is what's unique. It's pretty much going to where he's putting over Adam Wardlow.
Because they're friends, so he's clearly going to put his guy over.
But the question is, where do you put MJF after he gets beat by Adam?
If he's not getting a title shot, then it doesn't matter.
No. And like I said, Tony, the fact that you didn't call this guy the day after your heated exchange, just get on your ass.
Also,
and
this is why you shouldn't be worried about wins and losses counting.
Yeah.
That seems to keep being forgotten about in pro wrestling with pro wrestling fans and reviewers.
Yeah.
Where you take the wins and losses matter.
Yes.
How many you get shouldn't. And as I've told people, I've gone to indie shows where maybe a bigger person loses to the smaller person who's more well known with the promotion.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt the bigger person at all because it just allows the smaller character to kind of get more of a push.
Joey Jet Avalon does not get hurt losing to Haku on Fight TV.
No.
Because
you're majorly helped.
Because that's Haku. That's Haku.
So the match you run, they only had the Battle of the Belts only had 3.
What were the matches on there?
They didn't defend the TBS title. I don't think on that.
So maybe it's Dynamite this week.
Okay, so it's probably
Okay.
Yeah, they just had the women's title, the ROH World Champion, and the TNT.
Oh my God, that's right because they finally got Jonathan Gresham on.
By the way, you want to see a situation where Jonathan Gresham was not helped by the production team.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Oh, I know you got. As soon as I saw that picture posted online of what's his name stepping over the top rope next to Jonathan, I'm like, dude, Vince would have never let that shot happen. Even your boy Kevin Dunn wouldn't have let that shot happen.
Well, he might have cut 50 times before he even got to the ring, though. So
that's fair. But anyway, so Jesse,
fucking can't stand that guy.
So anyway, MJF, Captain Sean Dean. Sean Dean can wrestle. That's all I got to say.
I like Sean Dean.
Sean can go.
I like Sean.
Sean does his job.
I'm a very big proponent of the crazy guy from the heel part of the Nightmare thing, and then I'm a very big proponent of Baron Black. Hell, apparently Kenny Omega's a huge proponent of Baron Black. Yeah, we never see him on television, but that's neither here nor there. Sean Dean actually deserves some actual clean wins over some guys.
He does, yeah.
He's very, very good.
What I want to see happen, because here's the other problem. You go back to predictability. Dynamite is becoming the same 5 segments every week.
Holy shit, isn't it?
There needs to be a 10-minute segment put aside each week where Sean Dean can get a win against somebody from the Nightmare Academy, where you can focus on a local guy wherever you're at. But they need to set aside 10 minutes and just say, okay, Jesse, this is where I'm actually okay with throw darts at a board. Put 5 wrestlers on a board, throw a dart.
Right.
Give them that 10 minutes. Say, hey, guys, it might come out looking like a wrestling school. 2 guys were allowed to do whatever they wanted at the county fair, but just give them 10 minutes.
Here's the thing. If you're the pro wrestling show, that's what you do.
Yeah.
But they're a sports entertainment company that doesn't want to admit that they're not a full pro wrestling show.
It's funny you say that because the very next match was a trios match between Eddie Kingston, Santana and Ortiz, and I'll just say it, the Jericho Appreciation Society, because they're all in it. I'm not going to freaking act like they're not. Clearly, Jake Hager is just one of those guys who doesn't give a rat's hairy ass about trying to be serious in wrestling.
I don't think he cares about his wrestling career anymore.
Nope. He has he got his world title win. He's done.
And I think he's definitely probably more focused on his MMA career. Daniel Garcia just feels so out of place.
Doesn't he?
This is not the faction he needs to be in.
Especially since Jesse is now so high on Daniel
2.0
Garcia.
fits.
Yeah, oh, God, all day.
Damn, they're entertaining. I love
Yes.
those guys. They fit.
Yes.
But Daniel Garcia, man, he's got to get out this faction because he's so much better than this.
well, you saw it at Terminus.
Right.
You came out of that, and as much as you love Jonathan, you came out of that saying the biggest surprise was Daniel Garcia.
Daniel Garcia is special. Watching that match, I'm like, yeah, he's special, dude. That's a special talent that you got to start developing what his future is going to be now.
Yeah,
because he's a special kid.
Yeah, but the Jericho Appreciation Site, which by the way, y'all give Vince crap. They changed the name of the 2.0.
Oh, let me be very clear.
Guys.
So Jericho stupidly admitted, because Jericho's an old fool now.
Yeah.
Jericho stupidly admitted on his podcast
Yep.
that JAS wasn't the faction he was supposed to be doing.
Yep.
He's supposed to be doing a babyface faction with John Moxley and Bryan Danielson. It was at the last minute that he changed his mind.
Right. That's because Jericho knew he'd be buried just by being in a group with those two guys because he's not anywhere near what those two are.
He's not the competitor that those two are right now.
No. But anyway, this, Jesse, I don't even know what to say about it because it was just a jumbled mess of whatever they're doing in this Jericho Appreciation Society crap. Why are we still doing? Look, they had the one-on-one match. Why is Eddie Kingston still feuding? Why are they still feuding?
I'm going to take a little heat right now, Eddie Kingston, which I'm used to now.
Oh yeah. Just buy him a Cat's Deli sandwich.
right.
You guys will get over it.
What I don't understand. I understand the physicality in his matches. He's supposed to be a brawler.
Yes.
What I don't understand is the constant over interference.
Yeah.
You want to know what I also don't understand in AEW? The constant coming in and out of the ring when you're not tagged.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's interesting. Remember when the Hardys had their tables match? Leroy, if you would, I need to take you back for a second.
Oh,
so the Hardys
to great histories of the Hardys or their stuff
no,
at AEW?
No, the last time they were on AEW Dynamite.
I thought you were going to do something good.
I agree. I thought he was going to do something good.
Jesse already knows what I'm talking about. This. Leroy, you didn't watch the Hardys in this tables match.
I'm glad I did.
But this was the most embarrassing Hardys match of all time. First of all, they won in a tornado tag elimination tables match. So basically, when you go through the table, you are sent to the back, so you are no longer a competitor, okay?
All right,
now,
yeah,
Jeff gets eliminated on a
no,
hold on. Jeff got eliminated on a table spot where the table didn't break. But he was eliminated because the spot was supposed to be he went through the table, but then it went flat on the ring because they didn't set it up properly. I'm not joking. The announcer in the arena called Jeff out, as in like a baseball umpire. Jeff Hardy has been eliminated on a table that didn't break. And by the way, the referees were even like, what do we do? Oh, by the way, in real life, you keep fucking going. But anyway,
table don't break, he's not eliminated.
Yep.
It was an
by
easy
the
fix.
way, okay, Leroy, I'm not done. So Matt is now going solo.
Okay, I thought...
Hold on. Solo.
He's trying to describe it all to you.
Solo.
Han Solo.
Hold on.
Yeah.
They won the match because Jeff Hardy put the legal guy through a table.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Okay. Let's see. I just it confuses me there because usually tornado tag where they eliminate.
Yes.
Generally, when they eliminate one person of the tag team.
Yes.
The whole tag team's gone.
That didn't happen for either team. They just kept brawling. Not each other. They kept brawling the legal guys.
Now, to be fair, WWE did used to have these elimination style, especially with the Dudleys back in the day.
Yeah.
But you were supposed to eliminate both members of the team.
Yes.
Yeah, see. And if they were going to do that, they didn't announce that or anything? The rules? Because that's smart.
No. I will give Excalibur credit. He explained this about as good as it.
He really tried.
I think even he's getting tired of this.
He really
format.
tried.
He tried.
He tried his best.
Go back and listen, Jesse, to his vocal. He didn't know what to make of this. Even he didn't know what to say.
That's why I try not to kill my guy.
No.
He does his damnedest, man. He really does.
He does. But anyway, so
When
Leroy,
he's given trash, he's trying to work it.
So, Leroy,
This is why being friends with the Bucks doesn't pay off.
So Leroy, let me repeat it one more time.
I agree.
The Hardys won the most ugly tables match I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot considering I've seen some ugly tables matches. Because Jeff Hardy was now okay. Hold on. Let me repeat this again.
My brain is hurting.
I'm gonna shorten this.
My brain is hurting a little bit,
this.
Zach. All right.
Jeff Hardy gets
Oh,
eliminated.
my Lord.
Matt goes 2-on-1 in a tables match. Matt wins because Jeff Hardy, the eliminated brother, puts the legal guy through the table, and the referee pretty much just goes with it. Just make it a one-match table match. Just make it a tornado tag tables match. All you had to do.
That makes my brain hurt. That's like playing video games.
The fact that Matt and Jeff actually went out there and went with this, Jesse, after being told what was going to happen, what does that say about them?
Okay, that's like playing the wrestling video game with my son, and all of a sudden he wins, and I'm like, huh? How'd that happen? Wait a minute, we got to do this again so I can kick your ass.
But anyway, yes, that happened.
Oh, wow, my brain hurts after
Jesse,
that one.
Kingston and this was just a jumbled mess because back to your point in the inconsistencies of the rules, that's what I was trying to get at was that people... I had to let that sink into me for a week because here's the deal. I wanted to talk about that Hardy's match, but I had to let that sink in for a week. Be like, I've watched it. I'm not joking. It's the most watched match in AEW history by me because I had to watch it 12.5 times to sit there and think to myself, did I actually? I will give Tony and all of AEW
Is that
all
on
the
is
credit.
that on YouTube? Can I watch it?
Oh yeah.
I might have to watch that so my brain doesn't hurt as much.
But here's the deal.
my
I
God.
gave them every chance to be like, did I miss anything? And it was a short match, sadly. It was just garbage, but it was short.
You said Sally. I said fortunately.
Well, Well, sad for the Hardys, but fortunately for the
rest
of
of
their
us.
career. But I'm sitting there like,
I don't know how can you be a ref in AEW? Like they
they
don't respect you for shit, dude.
Jesse, if you're going to be a ref in AEW, you need to go to Tony and say, I will only ref FTR matches because that's the only match where you don't get
or
buried.
Ring of Honor matches.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you get no respect.
But no, Leroy, I watched it 18 plus times. I'm not kidding.
I'm not going to watch it that many times.
No.
But
No. I did it to be fair. To be like, did I miss anything?
Billy Gunn putting Aubrey in the fucking way of matches now, so because he's a heel. So he's almost getting her clothesline kicked in the face. I'm like, oh, man, what a stand-up guy you are.
You really want to get taken off of television? Have Aubrey take a bump, and we'll see how quickly they start pulling you off TV. Especially if she takes a bad enough bump.
I am all for women taking bumps from men in pro wrestling. I really am.
Yeah.
Because I think they are very much equal to us in this game.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
But my God, not the ref.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
and then you're purposely putting her in the way so the guy doesn't hit her.
Yep.
So you can get one up.
Yep.
Like, it's not that I hate you because you're a heel, Billy. I think you're just a douchebag.
So after this triple threat, we had...
Oh, no, that's not even the worst fucking part. You didn't even get to the worst part of this fucking match. It was the afterbirth.
I tried to avoid the
It was
placenta.
the fucking afterbirth.
I tried to avoid the placenta.
So,
to be fair, we haven't talked about too many placentas because Brandy keeps eating them. Anyway.
Fuck you. I was doing so good.
You know what?
I did not need that image in my head.
You know what? She's not there anymore.
Yeah, but she's going to be on WWE TV soon.
WWE's not going to let her do that shit.
They're not going to let her do that.
No.
They're not going to let her talk.
Actually, you'd be wrong.
But they actually give her a script so she actually knows what
Well,
she's
but they
doing.
may actually just make her a heel.
They're going to make her a manager. But apparently the plan is for her to not be around her husband, which I'm like, thank you, God.
Because remember, Cody's booze, which, by the way, we have to actually get into that today very quickly because it's happening again in AEW. Boy, how parody happens down there.
It was Sammy Guevara.
Hold on. We'll get there. But no, Cody's real issue in AEW started when Jesse, he would come out, that song would play, but then he stopped to let 17 people walk out among him. It's not a boxing match.
Right.
But anyway, so let's get to the worst part of this placenta.
So Eddie's team got the win.
Let me double check.
Double check. Maybe it wasn't.
By the way, Bleacher Report couldn't even give this a B-. This was a C+. They were kind, but they didn't get it.
They were very kind with the C+.
Oh, God.
So you got a D?
No, actually, Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, and Jake
Okay.
Hager won.
And guess what happened? 2.0, who they beat up in the parking lot earlier,
Just show up.
just show up with no shoes and then just tear these guys apart.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that your whole beatdown on them fucking seems meaningless. You guys look like idiots now.
Well, not only that, but they beat up a tag team that could run circles around them. No offense, 2.0. You're a good comedy team, but you ain't LAX.
I'm like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is this shit?
When somebody gets attacked in the most dangerous place in America, which yes, I know is in Florida, but it's oddly enough a parking lot outside
And
of
we're
the
like
Performance
4 weeks
Center.
into this fucking story now.
Yeah.
And you're telling me no one else has decided to team up with these guys at all?
That's exactly what you're saying.
Are you telling me no one in the back likes Santana and Ortiz? I get not liking Eddie Kingston, but you're telling me that no one likes Santana. And I'm a New York guy, so I get not liking Eddie Kingston.
Yes.
But
All right.
you're telling me no one wants to team up with Santana or Ortiz, two of the coolest, realest motherfuckers on the planet? Come on, man.
I would love to sit down with Santana, by the way. He'd be a hell of a conversation.
I think those two would just be a wealth of knowledge about tag team wrestling. But my God, like what is? Move on to the next match before I lose my shit.
My brain is starting to hurt
Ladies and
again.
gentlemen, this week in Pittsburgh, though, we have some good news, and Tony, don't fuck this up. It's the Premier Athlete Tony Nese, which, by the way, I guess he owned that because he's getting to use it on the Indies.
Yeah, he
too.
always
Oh,
owned that.
He's owned
Yeah.
it. So the Premier Athlete Tony Nese is going to face Hook in his first Dynamite match. So this is a
I
hell
heard,
of a...
I heard Hook was going to be on
yes,
Dynamite,
but
so yeah.
hey, Jesse,
That's cool.
with a legit competitor.
Yes.
That's good.
Tony, you better leave your goddamn cocaine-ridden hands off this match.
I will
why-
say,
Leave it alone.
Taz
Why
has been
did
very
they-
good about his son.
Why didn't they leave him on Rampage? I mean, he was doing good on there.
Well, no, you had to bring in the Dynamite eventually, but
Yeah.
leave him alone because it's working.
That's true.
Then was the Shafir versus Blue match, and then we got
All
to
these girls shouting at her and shit as she's trying to whoop Scott Blue's ass, and really her whole look is like, really? Okay. Really?
it was that look that
Okay.
Kenny gave when he was playing Bum Kenny that became the meme where he just goes up and goes.
What? Marina almost looked like she was depressed to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe she was.
Then we had a match
Maybe.
that. Oh, right, this is happening. Keith Lee is in a tag team.
This was actually one of the most positives to me.
No, Jesse. Positive, but Keith Lee's in a tag team.
I get that.
Keith Lee's in a tag team.
I get that. He
Is
wanted
he a
to leave.
singles guy?
He wanted to leave WWE.
Yep.
That
And
was
now
his
he's in a
decision.
tag
Yep.
team.
Let me be very, very clear when I say this.
Even AEW knows he can't talk that well, so they gave him a mouthpiece.
This is a positive
in Swerve.
because they finally started to put over a homegrown guy.
Yeah.
In Hobbs.
Yes.
And so I actually this was all mostly positive. Hey Ricky, I get you're at home.
They gave it a C+.
Refocus, buddy. He was so emotional at the beginning.
Yeah.
It seems like he forgot what he was supposed to do in the beginning of the
Yeah.
match.
You don't win at home. What the hell?
But refocus. Ricky's great.
Yes.
Ricky should be a world champion in a year there. He won't be, but he
No.
should be.
Yeah.
But Ricky's awesome.
Well, but Jesse, to be fair, Adam Page will still be
And
champion. of the
watching
year.
Swerve,
You think so?
Dude, Adam Page has Britt Baker booking,
really, no, for real.
And he's not as
and yet
good.
Britt Baker's still more over.
And he's
For
not as
sure.
good. Oh my lord.
Watching Swerve
Yeah.
is a constant reminder that someone in WWE needs their ass whooped. I get that maybe you weren't sure about the group and all that. That guy can't be a megastar.
I agree.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I agree.
The charisma, he just oozes cool.
Well, remember, they kind of wanted to bring him back, but I get why he didn't go back because he was a little slighted by them.
Well, I'm like, well, dude, you guys brought us up. The week after you brought us up, you fired the green girl that you should have just left in NXT.
yeah.
Like, you could have just brought her up later. And then 2 weeks later, you just fire all of us.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm with Swerve on that.
Yeah, I don't
Makes no
get
sense.
it.
Bleacher Report Jesse may accuse them of being on the payroll based off of this. The number one top moment from this entire segment. Okay, so this segment was actually a combination of Shafir versus Blue and this tag match. This is the combination. But the top moment, the first top moment, Red Velvet and Kira Hogan sat in Jade Cargill's baddie section.
Take off your headset really quick. Take off your headset because I don't want to blow out your ears. I don't want to blow out your ears.
Hold on.
For what?
Hold on. The last line. Hinting at a future on-screen pairing with the champ.
This is stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. I've heard stupid in my life. Okay, I heard stupid last night at my show.
My brain hurts again, but it's not from him yelling.
No, it's not.
Oh my God. What?
Yep. That was a top moment of the segment. Oh, by the way, there were only 2 top moments, but
and I thought their football reviews were bad.
Yeah, right. The other top moment, which was the second top moment according to them.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, Jesse. Everyone, take their headphones off. Jesse's about to get mad again.
All right.
Their second top moment, which was the second top moment, was the pop for Ricky Starks.
That won't make me mad. You're good. Because it was cool. It was the loudest pop.
But it was underneath the freaking hinting at a future on screen with the champ. Now it's time for the thing that we wanted so bad to see. I said last week, go check the tape. This was the number one thing I was looking forward to. It was everything I wanted and more. I'm so happy it happened. And as some people denied in the PWL at the end, it's proof that Vince is correct in saying, all you talk about's the end. But before we get to the end, Minoru Suzuki versus Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor Television Championship.
I literally burnt my fucking hamburgers at home because
he couldn't take his eyes off it.
I couldn't take my eyes off this match.
I heard there was a lot of slapping.
Bro, they were slapping the meat.
Oh,
they were slapping the shit out of each other, I heard.
Minoru is the best in the history of the wrestling business. He has that just defiant face of like, what you gonna do now, bitch?
By the way, Joe, if you thought you were fully in shape, I think you learned you might want to get a little bit better shape.
Here's the thing, though. Minoru Suzuki stays in shape.
I heard he was
huffing and puffing.
Oh, he was.
Joe was in shape, but he was in more of a round shape.
He was struggling for air, bruh.
Yeah.
Because it is hard to take that many hard-ass shots and not lose your breath.
Because remember, Minoru Suzuki doesn't throw potatoes. Minoru Suzuki just hits you with cinder blocks.
Bro, he had...
I know.
Bro, Joe had scars.
Yeah.
Like he got beaten by a wildcat.
Yes.
Well, wasn't he?
No, because a wildcat would have given up at a certain
point.
All right.
Minoru Suzuki doesn't actually show mercy, so it actually
it
might be better to get eaten by a wildcat.
There's a reason.
I saw some clips of him getting
hit.
There's
two reasons why the Japanese locker rooms have long-standing respect. Number one is the culture of that wonderful, wonderful nation. The other one is Minoru Suzuki.
Yes.
I watched some of the slaps they hit at you. Oh, my Lord. God, that's some hard-hitting shit.
A barrage of badassery is what they called it, which is exactly what it was. A barrage of badassery.
He hit Samoa Joe with the forearm so hard. I thought Joe officially had a concussion because Joe went down, bro. Like, it might have been worse than the shot he hit Daniel with.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and by the way, because I love that match and I've watched it so many times, no one on this planet, not a doctor with a fucking PhD, no one. You will never convince me that he wasn't out on his fucking ass after Minoru hit him with that. Bryan Danielson was out.
It looked
Was it close to like the longest yard where the guy clothesline Stone Cold and when he was in the movie and he shit himself? Was it pretty close?
Dude, I think it might have been worse. 'Cause I think Joe for about 10 seconds didn't realize he was still in a match with Minoru.
Yeah, no.
Dude, you hear the shot, the crowd, because it was such a loud pop in his jaw.
Yeah.
That the crowd was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And then, I looked at Joe's eyes as he dropped to his knees. I'm like, yeah, y'all might have to stop this match. Joe might be done.
They rolled a little bit.
If AEW wants to fix their crowd interaction and their sign issues overnight, just put Minoru Suzuki in charge of it.
Make Minoru Suzuki your champion for a year.
Because here's the deal.
Watch how great your main event becomes.
Well, no, Jesse,
yeah.
do you think a sign that's anti-Nyla Rose is getting in with Minoru Suzuki in there?
No.
You want no part of that, dude. You want no part of that guy. Dude, I would rather let Brock Lesnar beat me up than Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
Because Brock's going to just get tired of tossing me around at some point.
Yeah.
Minoru's not going to be done till I'm dead.
Minoru stops when you stop breathing.
I mean, even when I'm dead, he's still going to laugh while hitting my corpse.
Yes.
Like, this dude has no mercy.
And for those of you, who are not wrestling inclined or even MMA inclined, being like, "Is this guy really a badass?" I'm like, "Yes."
Just watch that match.
Just
watch. By the way, putting him in the main event is where he should be at all times. I think actually that's another curse of New Japan, that because we always see him as semi-main events, and stuff like that, he doesn't feel like a main event. But that dude is a main event. Like you don't want to follow him beating somebody's ass.
I've watched him chop and.
I have watched
that hurts.
I have watched
me.
Samoa Joe. I have watched Samoa Joe since his Ring of Honor days.
Right,
yeah.
But I have followed everything from the moment he showed up in Total Nonstop Action.
Right.
Yeah.
He has never taken an ass whooping like that.
That was an ass whooping.
He's never taken an ass whooping.
No, he has not.
And he's been in some shit.
He earned that championship because. Oh my, dude! This is why I want WWE to find a way to get this done. If somebody's gonna beat Roman for 2 titles, I need it to be Minoru Suzuki, because if Roman wants to feel like what it actually feels like to get smashed, I want to see Minoru versus. Actually, shit, that pay-per-view might be hard to get at that point. They might charge $50 for that WrestleMania, because he's like I tell people, it's not just the way he hits, dude. The PK kick is one of the worst moves I would rather take a chop than the PK kick, because it legitimately looks like he's trying to kick your fucking skull off.
Maybe he is.
So folks, if you're wondering why Bleacher Report gave this entire segment a B+, it's because we have to talk about the ending.
Oh yeah,
we are now in ROH Book It. That is what we're in, because Tony can't book 2 different shows. He has to book the same show 2 different ways.
I don't think that's not fair. I think what happened was Tony finally decided to reach out to Bruce Pritchard, and he said, "Listen, you guys' main event, it's clearly a little bit better than ours. How would you bring this big guy in?"
Yeah.
Right? And the thought of...
You mean Great Khali Light?
Great Khali had a better introduction than this. He got to beat up The Undertaker.
Yes.
No. This guy gets a lights out moment that fools their crowd, which angers them, because
they were pissed,
because they keep hoping for Claudio. I really don't think he's showing up there at any point. Maybe he is.
I think it'll happen at some point, but the heat will definitely die down.
And then you get this big 7'4" former basketball player beat the hell out of Joe. By the way, after he's already been beaten to death. He can't even stand the lift title.
Jesse, if he was still signed, because we know he's not.
Right.
If he was still signed, Marco Stunt could have beat Joe after this beatdown.
He probably could have pinned him for the championship after that ass whooping he took. Listen, man, I've seen bad debuts.
Yeah.
Killer Cross. that only got worse, by the way. Then they cut him.
Yeah.
Best thing about it was the wife.
Oh. Let's be real. Ricochet's first introduction was terrible.
Yes.
Because it basically made him look like Aleister Black's lackey.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was garbage. And
I haven't heard anything good about it.
And
there wasn't anything good about it.
The lights went out.
No wait. Time out. There was one thing good about it. We finally saw Jay Lethal and AEW on top.
I will agree with Steve from...
Well, that's good.
I agree with Steve from Steven Larson. If they would have ended the episode... So what was really... I thought the funniest thing I've seen in wrestling all week...
Yeah.
Is Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt come from the little area where they were sitting at, and he has this gift box. Because he told Joe the week before he was going to give him a gift.
Yeah.
And he opens it up, and it was a middle finger. It was Jay Lethal's middle finger. And Joe's legitimate look literally had me laugh, because he literally looked disappointed that was the gift. And in my head, I'm like, if that would have been the ending, I actually might have given AEW like a 4.5 out of 5, because I thought that shit was hilarious. I'm childish, but I thought it was hilarious as hell. But no. No, I had to see this big lugging son of a. By the way, better with Jonathan Gresham.
Yes.
Because Jonathan Gresham was a bit fresher after his match with Dalton Castle.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan could do a bit more.
The problem is that Jonathan is clearly much smaller than Singh, and they really let it show.
Don't embarrass Jonathan Gresham like that.
Yeah.
That he's earned more respect than that. Don't do that.
If Vince did it, I would still agree with you that don't do it, but I would understand it a little more because he wouldn't know Jonathan Gresham.
What Vince would usually do with the smaller guy going against a bigger guy is they have them kind of look up at each other to do the size difference. But you're still not disrespecting the smaller guy.
No.
Basically, as soon as they come down and he steps over the rope, they do this wide shot of how small Jonathan looks compared to this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you embarrass Jonathan like that?
Yeah. He's he's also a guy that, actually, this wasn't even one of the most egregious things I saw, and even though I like the most egregious thing, we're going to get to that in a second, but here's the deal. This was bad for a number of reasons, and it's also bad because it was announced afterwards that part of this was they're trying to break into the Indian market. Oh, hold on. So now the fans of wrestling are okay with the company being like, well, they're trying to break into India. Yeah, so what was Jinder again?
Yep.
What was Jinder Mahal again? Oh, wait, they made Jinder Mahal a champion, who, by the way, was actually good. Nobody just liked him. That was the problem. No one liked him, but he did his job. He was the 50th official world champion of the WWE of all time.
Like I told people, the only bad part about Jinder winning was the execution of how he won, really.
True.
Because it should have been a surprise that Jinder beat Randy Orton. That's a shock. But it was the way it was done. That was really the worst part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
the run wasn't awful.
The run wasn't too bad. When he actually found a way to beat AJ Styles without help, though, that felt pretty unfucking believable. And then 2 weeks later, of course, AJ took the title off of him so they can do
Brock
a great
versus
match
AJ. Yeah.
I really wanted to see Jinder versus Brock.
Yeah.
But anyway,
back to this.
Apparently, Brock didn't want to work with him.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. If you wanted the guy to have nuclear go away, you succeeded.
Yep.
Like you absolutely succeeded, because I think he can be redeemed. It's not his fault. He's literally Gene Snitsky here. It's literally not his fault.
Yeah.
He has a future in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You cannot. This is why the way you do integration matters. I murdered WWE for getting Miz hurt.
Yep.
Because I'm like, you got him hurt on some bullshit you didn't even have to do.
Yeah.
And that guy's never gotten hurt because he's one of the safest workers of all time.
Yeah.
And Damian Priest is pretty damn good at what he does.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Oh, we want to break into the India market. Yeah, guys, that didn't work out so well for WWE. Why are you trying it?
It also didn't work out well for Impact. They all failed at it. Why are we still trying this? It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense.
Because they think they can do it.
No, WWE still has a performance center there.
Yeah. But
I'm trying to think which one of those wrestlers has succeeded. Veer Mahan, I think, is it.
Yeah. And technically, Veer was already in the States because...
Jinder doesn't count, people. Jinder is Canadian.
Yeah.
People forget that. Jinder Mahal is Canadian.
He's Canadian. But the most egregious thing, I forgot what show this was on.
He's a good actor.
I don't know if this was on Rampage. I don't know if this was on what, but let me get this straight. So you put William Regal, you make Wheeler Yuta a made man. This is one of the most badass things in the world.
Oh, I think I know what you're getting.
And now you got Williams selling for Danhausen.
So this was...
Hey, no, wait a minute. I watched that.
It wasn't bad, but you're trying to build me that the BCC is this badass thing, and they're working with Danhausen.
The Danhausen with William Regal, I enjoyed that. Regal did a very good job.
I enjoyed it for what it was, but it literally took everything you just built and threw it out the window.
No, well, here's the thing. One, we weren't supposed to see that. That was supposed to... By the way, this is the dumb fucking thing about AEW sometimes.
They put out their shit.
You didn't need to put that out.
No, you shouldn't have.
If anything, you do what WWE does with shit like that. You put it as a quote-unquote network exclusive, or in this case, a YouTube exclusive.
Yeah.
because really that was just a fun thing for the fans.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a fun thing for the fans to go out there.
But they promoted it. That was the problem.
That was the issue.
They gave this life. I didn't hate the segment. I hate it for what's coming out of it.
Well, listen,
Why am I supposed to take the BCC seriously after this?
by the way, Danhausen's been one of the worst signings ever. They don't know how to use him.
No, they don't know how to use Danhausen. They
No.
don't. You know what's funny? Vince would know how to use Danhausen.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Yeah, that's not
yeah.
a joke.
No, I'm not. I'm laughing thinking about God, the stuff that he could
Jesse,
do with him here
Jesse,
in WWE.
you want the world's greatest interpromotional triple threat of all time?
Oh boy.
Cameron
Truth.
No. Actually, no. Okay. Fatal 4-way. R-Truth, Cameron Grimes, Danhausen, Yano.
I'm in.
Oh shit.
I'm so fucking in.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm so in.
Give him 20 minutes.
You give Danhausen and R-Truth 10 minutes. It's gonna be one of the best comedy matches you've ever seen.
Yes.
But unfortunately, little Jimmy,
Spiders, and then you just watch R-Truth freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
It just great
Yeah.
stuff.
little Jimmy
Yeah.
got released, so we wouldn't have him in there either.
Yeah, I know.
That's one of the funniest memes I've ever seen.
I was sad.
And that was on their official Twitter.
I'm really
too.
sad that little Jimmy got
WWE
released,
Oh,
man.
my
This
God.
officially comes to the release. Little Jimmy.
Of
I-
Little Jimmy.
I've been waiting for them to release Vacant for a while. Now here,
You can't release a man who has more world titles than Ric Flair.
Supreme Hall of Famer Vacant.
That is
Yes.
true. That is true.
I'm going to shout out the other two good things on the show.
Okay.
They weren't on for very long, but the BCC, when they cut their promo, I think they're excellent.
Yes.
The William Regal's group.
Yeah. I know it is.
I think they're phenomenal. They're going to be a very great shining moment for AEW
Yeah.
as long as they allow John and those guys to do it themselves. Because, they're former top WWE guys, so they can do this shit themselves.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
And then I am actually a monster proponent of this Hikaru Shida revamp.
Yes.
This is what she should have been the whole fucking time.
I agree.
And I'm very excited now to see. By the way, right? That's funny. Writers is a dirty word to them, and apparently, pro wrestling is two dirty words to Vince. I don't understand billionaires. Is all I'm saying.
Well, what I think is funny is that, folks, everyone's like, "Well, Vince is angry." No, Cody knew what he was doing. Like, Cody and Miz were phenomenal this week. We're gonna get to that in a little bit.
A photo literally leaked of those two laughing backstage after that promo.
Well, that's because, let's be honest, Vince knows that he has to bring in that like the point of his gimmick is to be the outsider.
Right.
That's the thing. Miz
He is
Miz
the prodigal son, but
yes, Miz is the company guy.
right.
But Cody is supposed to be this time around everything that Vince never wanted in wrestling.
Plus, to be fair, he's been letting Seth Rollins say pro wrestling more anyway. So
Well-
I think Vince is probably getting over that at this point.
I just think Vince doesn't care
Yeah.
anymore.
But
There we go.
the last thing is, I fear for Hook.
Yeah.
Because the moment they're going to get too in over their head,
Yep.
Tony's going to get involved,
Yep.
and they're going to kill that kid.
Yep.
They're going to kill all his momentum.
And no. And by the way, when you say they, you mean
Da buck.
the elites.
The elite.
The elite's gonna kill
Yeah, Lee and
everything.
Tony, because they're going to be like, oh, you should do this with him now. And as much as his dad's going to be like, don't do that. Don't do that. Let's not do that. They're going to do it because they basically run the company.
Yep.
But, otherwise, everything else, I mean, listen, MJF's great.
Yep.
He's going to be gone soon, but MJF's great.
If MJ, okay, all right. So this is a prediction for everyone on
Sean
this
Spears
show.
is in his perfect spot.
Yes.
He's a gopher.
Before we go anywhere, this is a prediction on the show that we all agree with. If MJF is not in the world title picture after putting over Wardlow, then it's officially he's out.
He'll straight up ask for his contract to be cut.
He's gonna stick around for another year and a half to do what exactly?
More bullshit.
I told you he's gonna be in WWE.
It's not about where he goes after. It's about, okay, if he's not in the world title picture after everything he's given you, after everything he's made himself into after this, because by the way, he's the only guy in AEW, and I'm serious, he's the only guy in AEW who isn't a former WWE talent where a loss doesn't hurt him.
Right.
He's the only guy, because a loss hurts everybody, even though the fans are like, well, he lost a good match. It's like, he still lost. Shut up.
Right, he actually lost.
But here's the deal. I predict that if MJF is not in the world title picture directly after, he either, like Jesse says, asks for his release, or we won't see his ass until that contract just runs out.
I think he'll just ask for his release because you want to know what I think you don't want. I really don't think you want MJF running around telling people how he can't wait to fucking leave AEW.
He's going to talk. Well,
I think they're going to have to do the Cody thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where he just works a couple things, they have a handshake deal, and then he's gone.
Yep. And by the way, like I said, I think that MJF, just to be petty, would give Vince a little bit of a discount on the initial deal. But then Vince is going to watch his work after 6 months and be like, we going to give you a little more money.
I get a sense Theory's going to be replaced as soon as MJF gets released. Because
wouldn't he? I would. No offense to Austin. Trust
MJF
me,
is totally a Vince
Austin's
McMahon
talented
guy.
enough where we'll find something
Right.
for him. But MJF as the prodigal son he never had?
Right.
Hello. Anyway, so yeah, AEW once again was the most schizophrenic shit I saw all week in wrestling. Also, now we have to sort of say this. Jim Cornette did a thing about it. I think everyone should listen to what Jim said. I'm about done with Tammy Sitch.
Oh my God.
I am just over it. There's nothing else.
You're about done. I've been done.
But what I'm saying is that I don't even care about, like.
I did see her boobs in 2013. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, there's that.
That was pretty cool.
But
boobs.
Yeah, that
but
was
my
pretty
point
cool.
is this: is that, folks, I'm with Jim.
Find me on Twitter. I'll tell everyone about that story.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, but
Tell me later.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I am also 100% with Jim in that I'm over. Even this person needs help. I'm done. Like, I mean,
Is she
7 DUIs and she was still driving.
Is she Is she capable of letting somebody help her?
No, I agree with Jim. She needs to be put away. She needs to go to jail because that's the only place that's safe for her right now.
And Jim wouldn't know because I think, to be fair, before whatever caused Chris Bandito to go over the edge,
Yeah.
they have tried.
Yes.
She was an incredibly hot woman who could cut promos, so it helped his tag team division.
Yeah.
Vince usually tries to keep talent around that's helpful.
Yeah.
So they tried, and back then they couldn't get her the help. To give Eric Bischoff and even Dixie Carter some credit, they tried in TNA when she was there for a short stint.
This woman legitimately killed someone. That is not hyperbole. She actually killed somebody.
By the way, how do you have 7 DUIs and still have a license?
She didn't. No. She didn't. But she was still driving.
Well, she has a lot. I've seen reports of if people in Minnesota and Wisconsin have 20 DUIs and they still drive,
Which is insane.
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
it just,
So I just had to get that out of the way. Jesse.
Well, yeah, I was about to say that actually wasn't even on the docket.
I just wanted to get that out of the way so people knew we were talking about.
I didn't even want to talk about
No.
it.
But
Yeah.
hey, cards are subject to change.
You know,
There we go.
let me throw another one off the docket.
All right.
Once again, congratulations to Darren Corbin. That man has been busy.
He's a very busy man.
He's very busy, and he's also.
I told him that we might be getting a sponsorship from BetterHelp.com, and his consultant could use it.
You're not just his consultant.
Yeah.
He's made some challenges to some wrestlers recently.
He has.
Oh yes, he
Yes.
has.
And I've enjoyed talking to Darren when you guys have had him on. I think Darren is.
He's going to be on soon to celebrate our 100th because it basically.
Awesome.
I don't know if he's going to be on the
do.
100th episode, but he's going to be around there
because
this whole thing kind of started with Darren. Let's be honest.
Darren Corbin is a superstar. I love the guy.
We are at number 98.
But
Right
I'm just saying that Darren will be around to celebrate our 100 at some point,
I
whether it's the
will,
100th episode or not.
I'll see what I can do.
I fear for Darren's future.
Yeah.
Just there's just certain guys sometimes you don't always challenge the baddest dude.
Don't always go onto the playground and shove the biggest kid there.
Maybe the biggest kid, if he wasn't a bully, just leave him be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's always a good idea.
But once again, congratulations on his success. He had the really cool show, I believe, in Texas recently.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big congrats on that.
He's going back to Mondo Lucha. That was just announced.
Yes.
Yep.
But I fear for his safety is all I'm saying. Just I get he's the merc with the mouth. He's the redhead mercenary.
Yep. Loudmouth mercenary. The
Red
merc with the
hair.
mouth is Deadpool.
Right.
Darren's basically the Deadpool.
But he's
wrestler.
basically Deadpool.
He's basically the Deadpool.
Loudmouth
wrestler.
mercenary,
But,
red hair, don't care.
Right. I love him, and I don't want to see him get beat up. Is all. That's all.
Yeah.
I love him. And I
Would
don't
you like
wanna
to
see him
tell
get beat up.
our lovely listeners who exactly he has called out?
I gotta go on. I gotta go on Facebook to find the exact word.
Yeah.
You know what? Go to Darren's Facebook or Twitter. It's there.
We're just gonna send it to you. Yeah.
We're
just gonna send it to you.
We'll post it after the show.
Yeah, we will.
But all I'm saying is, I love you, dude.
Yeah.
Just like I love my man Rampage.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to be careful who you running your mouth at.
and by the way, just announced for the first time in I want to say 5 or 6 years, he's teaming up with Lore.
Which should be fun.
Heavy Metal
Yes,
Lore's
he
coming
is.
back.
Should be a lot of fun.
Looking forward to
Will that
to seeing that.
Is that at First Wrestling or is that?
I don't think it's First Wrestling.
No.
it's
It
something
is
yeah, go ahead.
Higher Ground Wrestling.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
that's
Thank
how
you.
End of the world.
All right. So to get to some WWE topics here, number one, first of all, Randy Orton's having the time of his damn life. Holy crap!
Clearly.
He was the highlight of SmackDown.
Clearly.
Roman was once again. SmackDown did great, and Roman was not there. He was
wasn't.
not
That's
needed.
right.
Sadly, it's just like Paige is not helping anything either. But that's a whole nother story for the day. Someone actually told me, or somebody actually posted on a wrestling chat, Paige over Roman, and I was like, "What drugs are you smoking? Because that's some shit."
Wait, Adam Page?
Yes, Adam Page.
I'm not even willing to
Yeah,
go
it's
into
not
that.
even worth your time there.
It's not even-
2.0, by the way, I thought was pretty good this week. Carmelo Hayes seems to still want to go after Cameron Grimes.
He does.
The Creed brothers, oh my God, are those guys amazing.
I've never seen a tag team grow this quickly and still not be tag team champions.
Well, but here's the thing,
they
though.
actually they've got me really wanting them to win those belts.
Well, but that's the point.
Right.
And by the way, an unsung hero in all of WWE, not just in NXT. Bro, Malcolm Bivens makes me love a match so much.
Bivens is a king.
They need to give him just a camera. And you know what? I wouldn't care if Kevin Dunn did 50 shots of my Malcolm. He tells the story of the match. You can have the thing on mute,
Right.
and Malcolm Bivens tells you the
Right.
story of the match.
Right.
Malcolm Bivens is arguably the best thing they have going managerial right now.
He's currently probably the best manager in pro wrestling. to be
Not-
honest.
Not named
Was
Paul
that
Heyman.
one you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Post it on our page. Don't say it. But anyway, no, Jesse.
Just say it. Sometimes the quiet big guy is the guy you leave alone.
Yeah. But Jesse, my question to you is, first of all, Pretty Deadly. If you don't know them, that's on you. They are a phenomenal team.
Well, first of all, that's why anyone who knows about Pretty Deadly, and then you see the one win, you were a little surprised, but you're like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, because they're good.
They're great.
But Jesse, I've never seen a tag team, whether they sold it or whether it was real, they were gassed at the end of that match. Were the Creeds?
I mean, I tell people all the time because it's true.
This is also the best showing by Brooks and Jensen I'd seen in a while.
Yeah, when they put them both through the table at the same time, I think that was Brooks and Jensen.
Yeah.
I thought that was it for the Creed brothers at that point. I'm like, all right, that's got to be it for that stamina. That's it. Nope, they found a way to get that match too.
Those two are absolute studs. And they're perfect for a faction with Robbie.
Coming with a wrestling background like that is going to go a long way for them.
Yeah.
Here's the problem.
They also seem pretty safe, too. I mean,
Right.
I really haven't seen a move so far from Creed that
Here's my big concern about the Creed brothers.
Yeah.
And Malcolm Bivens.
Yeah.
When you call them up,
Yeah.
what do you do with Roderick and Ivy at that point? I think Ivy will be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if Roderick's a main roster guy.
Well, but here's the thing about Roddy is that Roddy right now is technically doing exactly what he was doing in ROH.
Though to be fair, he should be because he's already proven in a mid-card title match. Remember, I think it was him, Shinsuke, and somebody else.
Yeah.
Survivor Series. Great match.
Oh yeah, no, it was fantastic. But that's the thing about Roddy is that right now, Roddy is just the guy who will go anywhere, have a match with anyone, and put on great matches. Because by the way, he went toe to toe with Gunther, and was really good.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah,
Was really good.
Oh, yeah, he was.
But no, NXT 2.0. It's doing a lot of great stuff. I think that Dakota Kai's looking pretty good, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Your girl Wendy Chu brought out the Super Soaker, and I thought that was the best. Wendy Chu's playing
my
her role
God.
perfectly down there.
She's great.
Wendy Chu is my new favorite thing about NXT 2.0.
she has really grown on me thanks to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy Chu's amazing.
Like I told people, when I first saw that they were doing this, she's a really lazy but really good professional wrestler kind of gimmick. I'm like, she's gonna make this work.
I like the
has.
onesies. I love the onesies.
Yeah, the ones
They're
are great.
cute.
The Super Soaker might have been a bit too much for me personally, though.
All right.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a I can't explain without us getting taken off of SCC Airways way.
Calm down, sir.
Well, no, we weren't.
Heel.
We won't be taken off FCC. It just depends what you say.
I'm not gonna say it, but
We have to be PC.
He's
a
not-
little.
But I believe within the year she actually might be the one to beat Mandy Rose because that story
Yeah.
is funny enough to really tell itself.
Oh, yeah.
Mandy Rose loses to the one person she probably takes the least serious out of all of them.
Yep. Yep.
That could
that's
work.
Gonna be
That's
good.
great.
Also, we've learned allegedly because I've actually seen conflicting reports, although there've been a bunch of reports that said they did it. We got some name changes coming. Folks, we've already talked in the show. We're not going to get into name changes that much because
This is the dumbest fucking thing ever.
well, I think it's dumb. I just don't care anymore.
And not in
They
a
just keep going.
I'm angry way like the last Bleacher Report thing you read.
Yeah.
But so apparently the new decree is they want to give the new names instead of having you come in with the name that you had.
Yeah.
Because then at that point they would rather have the rights to your character, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
get that fine, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
blah. Here's the thing though. If the bottom line is putting on a great show and making money,
Yep.
making money probably being number one.
Yeah.
putting on a great show, number
Yeah.
two. Does it fucking matter?
No.
And see, this is why we get fired from WWE all the time.
Yep.
Because if I was in that meeting and Vince came out with that,
Yeah.
I'd be like, Vince, love you. My bag's already packed. This is fucking stupid.
Yep.
This is stupid. This is Nick Khan would probably like, oh shit, here he goes again.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this is dumb.
Yep.
Triple H should put his head down like he's about to get fired again.
Yep.
Like what are you do? Are you this old? This is where we are.
But this is on Saturday.
Is this
This is the Saturday meeting because
is
on Monday they're gonna hire you
right,
back.
right? Are we kicking people off your grass again, sir? Is that what we're doing? This is
be
a
like-
stupid reason to do things.
Yeah, no,
I know,
agree.
and then eventually,
Yeah.
Jesse, what? You're fired.
You know, you get the hell out of here.
Jesse would never actually unpack his bag.
Oh no. I would have enough packed.
Yeah.
The office would never be packed in
Yeah,
Connecticut.
yeah,
But I would
exactly.
have enough packed.
Oh yeah,
Because
exactly.
on Sunday night, but I might have overreacted.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
Oh no, you always overreact. But I'm used to
This
this.
is what it is. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
totally
you're
used to
right.
this.
Yeah. But
Come on back.
but here's the thing that I want to understand. Dude, they did this in the territory days, but there was never social media to show they did it. It's happened before.
But here's the problem now when you bring that up. People know these wrestlers by these names.
which I agree, but Jesse, the problem.
Now, with Gunther, like I said, I left it alone because they have mostly changed the character itself. So I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
When you're changing the character itself, I have no problem with that. With Raquel, it didn't matter because they try to stop using her any parts of her actual name in NXT. So they've been trying to get to this with her anyway.
Yeah.
But like, so I mean, well, I can't believe it's completely true unless it's just for active wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because Drew Gulak was literally just on the show
Yeah.
with his name.
I
He was on
actually
SmackDown.
think that because of the way Charlotte berated him, I think there's more to come from this Gulak situation.
Probably.
It's also just nice to see Gulak doing something.
Yeah. I was like,
By the way, he's also a prime example of sometimes our pride can get the best of us.
Yeah.
But sometimes just go, you know what, fuck it. Okay, they don't have me on anything but main event. But if I can get on SmackDown as this like commentator who can actually,
I hate to say it, Jesse.
take a bump.
Jesse, I hate to say it.
Yeah, why
Every
not?
single wrestler needs to go watch Miz's episode of Evil.
Right.
He just took whatever the hell they gave him and he
And
knocked
went
it out
with
of the park.
Right.
And he eventually got, because here's the deal, you're in wrestling, they're eventually going to put you in a physical situation. That's just how wrestling
Right.
works. So, I hate to say it, but the guy that the fans love to hate and actually legitimately have some dislike for, he's the bar of what you have to do in anywhere.
Because I'm like with Drew. What I found really interesting is that she kind of hinted that maybe he gave up being.
But that's why I'm
in-ring
saying I
performer.
think there's more coming from this.
Right. I like I said, and I'm like, well, there's no way.
He also got in two different segments. Don't forget.
Well, yeah, he was
he
featured
did,
on the
yeah.
show heavily.
Yeah.
And listen, I think this is good for him, but we're talking about him in these name changes. It's just it's a stupid fucking thing. And yes, I get people like, I don't like hearing though. Just wait and see, because sometimes that. Okay, well, I hate to say it again, but I'm gonna wait and see.
Yeah.
Because probably in like a month or 2 months' times, this is not gonna fucking matter anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just one of these WWE things that sometimes they do shit.
Vince hates first names again because now it's just theory.
Well, to be fair though, that is a specific case where you had Austin Theory and then Stone Cold Steve Austin. That is a more casual audience in WWE.
True.
When you say Austin, usually
Yeah,
they're going to think of Stone Cold.
Yeah. No, I'm
So
kind of with that.
to be completely fair, I get that one.
Now, also,
Though I did hear some great jokes about calling him Bill Theory,
Yeah.
or Christopher Theory.
Can I just say this though? The moment of
That
the
would work.
week. Damn, Matt Riddle can hit an RKO out of fucking anywhere. Holy shit!
It was so brilliant that Randy had an AEW moment.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He literally jumped in the ring. The ref was like, "What are you doing?" And
I did saw. I'm like, Randy, what the hell are you doing?
Randy was like, just count.
I saw that Evan's playing. I'm like, Evan, what? Get in here now. You need to watch this replay.
Matt Riddle is a star.
Oh yeah.
There is no question.
Holy
crap.
I love the question. They posted it on Twitter, and then Aaron posted it on in the lounge. Is he world champion worthy? Yes.
Here's why I say yes. Number one, he has a character that Vince will find funny at some point. And number two, he can just work. Workers like Riddle eventually get
You
world
said
title
at some
shots.
point he clearly finds him funny.
He finds him funny now.
He's been doing the same damn weed jokes for about 3 years now.
He has, yeah.
Yeah, I
also love the actual character development that Randy's had throughout this whole storyline. It's been so fucking funny.
Is he world championship caliber? Yes. Material right now?
It's going to change when he gets up there.
I'm
Yeah,
on the
I agree.
fence.
But by the way, also, you want to get Americans excited about something, Lacey Evans has the perfect promo right now. It's hard to believe you can get a wrestler to succeed by, I don't know, being themselves and just telling their life story. Hard to believe that still works, isn't it?
What did I say after the last promo last week? I said she's going to be the most over baby face on SmackDown.
She might already be.
And the problem is
yeah.
they're going to still list Ronda ahead of her. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah, no, I
That's
agree.
going to be the problem. But it's like, no. People actually really like Lacey Evans. Dude.
But again,
I do love her comeback.
But again, hard to believe that you can actually succeed with someone just being themselves.
Well, she was always like so. I think I shared it after I saw it on Pro Wrestling World,
Yeah.
and she Selena Vega, Bianca Belair, and of course Danielle Camella, who used to be known as Vanessa Bourne.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the fifth is eluding me. Son of a bitch. But they were a part of the 2016 class of signings.
Yeah.
That weren't actually independent wrestlers.
Right.
But
they're all working out.
Yeah.
everyone except Vanessa Bourne
Yeah.
has either been a champion
Yeah.
or been in multiple championship matches.
Yes.
And when I looked at that, I went, damn, that's success.
Definitely.
And
is.
I didn't even realize that because Bianca's probably it's going to be one of the most well-known names.
Yes.
But I'm like, I think the other one was more. I gotta go look at. Oh, Carmella.
Carmella. Yeah.
But I'm like, that's success.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's successful.
When you think that a good portion of your women's division came from the same signing class.
That you trained yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta give it to WWE. When people actually point stuff out like that,
Yeah.
because people usually like to point out the Four Horsewomen and things like that, and Alexa Bliss and trying to use her as the outlier.
Yeah.
But then when people post like actual facts like that, you go like, well, damn, yeah, no, they've been insanely successful.
Yeah,
with
and
this.
remember, folks. I think at this point, Selena, because I read a report that there's still heat back. Selena, they're done with that heat. It's over with. It's done
Oh yeah,
with.
totally.
Folks, she was right. They even admitted that she was right because she got everything she wanted, and then she got more.
Right.
Because she got it. She can do it. Because I don't think Selena was ever doing nudity on OnlyFans anyway.
No.
I just think she was doing her cosplaying.
Yes.
So I mean, she got everything she wanted, and then she got some more because they're allowing. See, again, the problem was you have an old school company that just had to relearn how the modern stuff works. Vince has done this every 10 years. This is what it had. There are people that sadly fall on the sword, but she got everything back, and they brought her back. They were cool with it.
Like
and by the way, her coming back was a legitimate surprise, although
Right.
Jesse knew it.
Right, I kind of knew about it, but
You predicted it.
I also said back then that the way she fought was the right way. She simply just said, "Guys, there's a reason we do this."
She was also very respectful the entire time.
And every which way she fought, like her husband said, is why she is so successful with them.
And that's the thing.
And Vince doesn't mind you pushing back.
No, he respects it.
Hell, that's
Yeah.
why he hired her back and paying more money now.
Yeah.
Like he respects.
Well, that's the part nobody gets.
Right.
She got more money when she
more
signed
money to
back.
come back. Yeah.
That's the part that nobody gets.
Because Vince was like, "Damn, she was right. All right, get her on the phone." Like even he said in the interview.
Yeah.
He's like, "I actually like confrontation."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, you might get fired,
Yeah.
but I'll probably bring you back because after a day of thinking about it, I'm gonna go,
Now,
damn, they're
now,
right.
Now,
Damn,
now,
okay.
I think that, and I've got nothing against this, because of everything I've learned about Tommy. You've met Tommy N, so I mean,
Yeah.
you know more a little about. I think that he would eventually have come back.
Absolutely."
I also think that he did want to concentrate on the school, some other projects.
Right.
But AEW came calling and offered him a chance to do this story again. And knowing Tommy and the creative mind that
Look at that line. Look at that line. A lot of money.
he is. Yes. But I think that Tommy just
If
saw.
they don't think I'm loud enough, they will. Today.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
It broke the screen. It's so good.
quiet that down
Yeah.
a little
Oh,
bit.
dude, it's like a big wave.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
no,
Yeah, it's like that long.
Well, my point is this: is that I think
Oh,
that
it's all right.
Tommy just saw the opportunity to get the creative juices flowing,
Right,
and he
right,
took it.
right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, because he was discussing on his Twitch channel how like.
I saw that. Yeah.
He's showing the music and stuff, and he was honest. He was like, they've actually given me a call, so there were clearly talks for him to come back. As I think after they initially released him, they were like, wait a minute, we put a lot of money into this guy. Why are we just letting him walk?
Yeah.
But Tony offered more money,
Yep.
so he smartly took the better money. Plus knowing, oh, I can go work PWG again.
Yeah.
Even, like if this guy isn't going to be great, which at that point in time with WWE, he knew he couldn't.
Yeah.
I get why he went. Fuck it, I'll go do this.
Yeah.
for a couple
Yeah.
of
No.
years."
Yeah. No. And the thing about it is that take the money. I always am
Dude,
for that.
Plus, they literally called him by his. So, if you watch the Hall of Fame ceremony, they put Selena and then they put his actual name up on the thing.
Yeah.
So there's clearly no problems between
No.
them.
No. No.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
So I
didn't cover him up. Selena was sitting not front and center, but she was in a very prominent place on the stage.
And they put his face right there on WWE television.
They didn't care. They didn't care.
So there's clearly no. They probably let you know what we get it. You took the better money.
We talked about it a little bit, but we got two more things to get to today. One's pretty huge, but I want to get this out of the way.
Tony doesn't like Riders. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, right.
That's why I had to put it there.
I personally don't think that there's any real issue with WWE and Mick Foley. I just think that Taker was talking for an hour and just missed on Mick. We've highlighted that, yes, one of the biggest moments in the history of WWE is Mick and Taker, but Taker's overall career, look, him and Mankind.
I'm going to stop you.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So let me make this clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Noel Foley, you have no reason to defend your dad.
Yeah.
You can defend you.
Yes.
Because Willow is doing wonderful. But you decided you wanted to go be a supermodel.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But you don't get... This is not the first shot she's taken at pro wrestling. She's decided not to do it.
Right.
I'm kind of tired of these fucking bitter rich children taking shots at pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I actually heard about this a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Of course, it was just a slip of his mind.
Yeah.
The man was emotional.
He talked for an hour, for Christ's sake. Yes, he had time to do it, but... Think of the 30 years of life that were going through his mind at that point. Yeah. And by the way, he even named a couple people that WWE forgot about.
Right.
So, like...
So, Noel, and even Mick had to make a joke about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's like, of course he didn't forget about Mick.
No.
It's one of those things.
Mick also wasn't there. Maybe Taker was focusing on who was in front of him. But here's the deal. Maybe he used that as a mnemonic tool to stay in.
To be fair, he was invited, but Mick had prior commitments.
Yeah.
That's all that happened.
You know what? You're going to give him heat. You know what? I think we got a better heat we can deal with, right, guys?
Yes.
Haitian Heat, brought to you by Al Sands, right here locally in Duluth, Minnesota. Haitian Heat, 6 hot sauces and 2 barbecue sauces made with natural peppers. So you do get a kick into your flavor of your hot sauce, but you also get the natural sweetness and ingredients of the pepper. As I have been not ordered to say this, but if you are worried about your back order, always feel free to email the customer service line.
Yes.
Apparently there's been some incidents with the updates.
Yep.
They're trying to fix that.
Yep.
Remember, these are small businesses we are promoting to you. At some point, whenever we get a big one, well, we won't have to tell you about their customer service. You'll already know.
Well, yeah, it's true, yes.
But go ahead, Zach.
Also, before you get into a Twitter battle, you want some other battles? Do you like movies, video games?
Yeah, I do.
Or anything else that is entertaining?
I think
I
that's
do.
all
Well,
excellent.
Well, let the battle begin with the Battle Draft Podcast.
Hey.
Listen on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. Follow them also on Instagram at Battle Draft Podcast.
Correct.
Then if you just want to say something about it, listen, you listen to it and enjoy it or whatever. That's my buddy Stewie with his brother Adam. They both have a wonderful podcast. Listened to it many times, where they just kind of talk about everything that they find entertaining. They do little lists of stuff, and it's a super fun podcast. That Stewie's found some more time to get into it, and he's been able to sort of find time.
It's a really fun podcast.
Oh yeah, no, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just started listening to them too. Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Really fun.
Great.
Yeah, no, go ahead and do that. But now we got to get to
Also, though,
what else we got.
Now,
kids look so lovely from church.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
But Clara's coat.
What are they missing?
It feels like Clara's coat could be a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Leroy, I think you should go to Handmade Mama. Handmade Mama, LLC. Handmade Mama's children's clothing boutique, located here in Duluth, Minnesota. Located in the Holiday Center on the 2nd floor, right there in the Skywalk across from Subway. All of Handmade Mama's products are available online at handmademamallc.com. Free shipping on all U.S. orders. So literally, all you got to do is you let her know what kind of product you want, Leroy. She'll get it right to you.
There we go. Yeah, I'll send her down with the girlfriend, and
There you
Yeah, she does great work. They
Great
offer
idea.
custom clothing, so
There
maybe
we go.
you throw something that she likes onto the coat. Okay. And they
Anything
offer
pink.
and it's not just for children. While you're down there, Leroy, get something for yourself.
Because your wardrobe could definitely use some updating.
Hey, now
You see, he had the insult you within the ad.
I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. I have been dating this girl for very long, so maybe it'll
But you
help,
never know.
so.
Maybe you want a nice new shirt.
That's true. I do need some new shirts. I'm doing.
And listen, all of her products are made with American milled fabrics, but also printed right here in the U.S. of A.
There we go.
You can find Handmade Mama LLC on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook at Handmade Mama LLC. Also, you can find Battle Draft Podcast and Haitian Heat on Facebook.
Yes, you can. And just to get it out there, we are not going to do the full pitch, but Jesse is going to be going to Vegas. He's really excited
So
about
yes,
this.
I'm looking at the July show.
Yep.
I cannot wait to get out there.
Yep.
I'm actually
Hopefully we'll have a T-shirt for you to go down
right,
there
right,
at
right,
that
right.
point.
And I'm also hoping to kind of, while I'm there, maybe get on the Facebook with some of not only the talent but promoters themselves.
Yep.
And that way, you guys can actually get to see me talk with them, interview them.
We'll have you
and get some, get some promotion out
Yep.
of them.
Don't worry, we'll get a shirt for you.
Yep.
For
but,
sure.
but hey, folks, darkartsvegas.com.
Go listen.
Go.
They're gonna have a ton of stuff coming up this summer.
Yep.
So if you're a big fan of like Funny Bones, like my compatriots here,
Yep.
Well, guess what? There's gonna be a lot of times
Funny
you can
Bones.
see them.
All right, so here we go. Jesse, we talked about this last week. I think this is how we're going to end the show.
Damn, we're 4 for 4. We're doing better than you twins. Go ahead.
Hey,
A lot of people doing better than my twins. But here's the deal. We're going to save that top 5 for next week. Which top
I'm
5?
loving the Timberwolves. All right,
Yeah.
shush.
Well, they're doing good.
Timberwolves are going to lose the next 4 in a row. Sorry.
Oh, shush.
I'm a
I
realist.
don't know.
I have to stay bad because then they'll
I
do good.
get it.
All right.
But anyway.
The Vikings has made you guys suffer for years.
Yes, but anyway. So
yes.
we're going to save this top 5. I have which top 5 we're supposed to do the
That was
this
the
week.
I forgot.
the good clowns.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Next week, Jesse, because we have to get into something that's going to get really, really serious right now.
All right.
Folks, we are a professional wrestling podcast.
Correct.
Professional wrestling has existed since the dawn of the Great Depression. It has been, in many ways...
Or sometime after Leroy was born.
Yeah, you know. Well,
No, it was.
well, to be fair,
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
well, to be fair, God made the earth, then he made Leroy, then came the sun. Anyway. He had to
Wow.
give, he had to
Really?
He had to give you a place to stand on.
Wow.
He had to give you a place to stand on.
That was man on his off day. That's it. Like, all right, God, I'm good. Yeah, it's all right.
Hey, I
Yeah.
mean, listen. The reason that
He broke a
Leroy-
certain mold,
The
there's no
reason
doubt
that
about that.
Leroy does, can deliver a great sermon is because he's met God. So
Yeah, he has.
he knows.
He was there.
he was there.
Adam and Eve, and Leroy was over there.
He did try to warn Eve not to go to that damn tree.
He did. He did. He did.
She didn't listen.
He did. Yeah.
No, I just told her, Ben, you got. And then it got worse. And then God looked at Leroy, what are you doing? I'm sorry, I'm gone. I'm gone.
He might have been the snake. We don't
Yeah, I
know.
was about to say, you know what? It might have been the snake.
Anyway, Jesse.
No, I wasn't a snake, but,
Yeah, fair
you
enough.
know, I got a snake.
Anyway.
Whoa!
Boy, I don't know how we
This
kept
took a
that.
turn.
A little bit.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you're not. No, you're
I
not.
apologize to pygmies in there after.
Yeah, no, you're not. But anyway, so wrestling has had 2 time periods. One where the veil was there,
Right.
then the punch heard around the world, then Vince McMahon. Where nowadays wrestling is purely entertainment. People pretty much know it's a work.
Right.
We're not here to, we're not breaking any news by saying it's a work.
Right.
But there is still a weird thing that we have yet to have any answers to, and we're here to kind of break the ice on that. Jesse, Tony Khan is currently about to experience a change in development. Vince has been dealing with this since the dawn of him owning the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Right.
Why is wrestling essentially taken so seriously that even though people at this point know it's a work,
Right.
it continues to garner so much issue with the fact that we are not allowed to have intergender promotional matches on national television, even though we have shows like Law and Order SVU, which if I have to tell you what that show is about, we got a problem.
Right.
But, Jesse, we have seen, not actual, but we have seen things like, and folks, just deal with the language. We've seen things like assault, rape, sexual stuff. We've seen a lot of things happen on network television
Correct.
that seem to not make anybody that angry about it,
Right,
and people
right,
don't seem to
right.
care that much about it. We also live in the world of feminism where women are supposed to try to be getting more and more, which we're perfectly fine with.
Right.
No issue with that. Everyone here is a feminist in the
Right.
best way we can. But for some strange reason, we can't get professional wrestling to be something that people leave alone, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
Any idea here, boys?
Too many Karens?
the
We're
fear-
past Karens at this point because
I
because
know.
That's just a normal part of daily
yeah,
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moms who just apparently have nothing better to do but sit and ladies, motherhood is a full-time job. Not gonna say it's not, but apparently they sit at home while the kids are at school and they find shit about professional wrestling on Twitter to complain about. Sorry,
The professional wrestling business is still a business, and as they like to say in Hollywood, it's not called show friends; it's called show business.
yeah.
And there is a natural fear that if you do the intergender match, that you're gonna face some backlash, especially on national TV.
Yeah.
And so even network execs usually tell people to try to stay away from it. But my problem with that has always been this: if we are to, because as you have just stated, I basically am a classified feminist. Women should have equal pay. They should get time off when they are, having kids or have had children, just like single fathers should. when they get the chance to.
And the other thing about it is that we are also entering a world. And Leroy, you've already talked about this in the show, so I'm not bringing up any dirty laundry for you. But you've been in a situation where you've had situations with your family that have involved the judicial system that surprisingly have actually gone well for you, because the truth is that you've come out better in situations. But America continues to have this weird idea that that's just not how life works.
Well, yeah, because it worked out for me because I was honest and telling the whole truth.
But that's the thing. Even though you're
yeah.
honest in saying that it's a work and that the women are in on it and that the guys are in on it, there's still this idea that now, okay, we get the Becky Lynch thing didn't cause a huge uproar, but again, Jesse says that crosses that line, which even in real life you have to worry, which is when the female puts themselves in a situation. Because here's the deal: I'm not sitting here saying that, and I don't mind saying this, but I've said this before. I am a trained black belt. I am actually able to do that, and I'm sorry out there, but if I get into a situation where a female is just really not allowing me to have my time in public, and you get physical, I'll deal with the backlash, but I'm trained to swing back, and you're going down.
You have every right to defend yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
Which, by the way, people seem to forget.
Right.
And I do agree that if I'm come up and a woman comes up and she hits me,
Yeah.
and I drop to a knee, well, that means that if you can dish it,
Yep.
you're gonna take it.
But see, Jesse, why do we live in a society that wants so many equal things, but doesn't seem to look at, and I'll use her as a prime example, a girl like Sierra, who is owning one of the newer companies in Minnesota. She's arguably one of the best wrestlers around right now.
Clearly.
Gender be damned.
Right.
But the thing about it is that apparently, even though Sierra is perfectly fine by taking these matches, although she's probably not happy with Joey almost losing her championship. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Joey, you almost lost a chance. I'll say it as loud and run away.
Yep. But the thing about
keep
it
it
is,
a shovel-length distance away.
while
At
she
least
may
3
not,
of those.
while she may not be happy, she had no problem beating up on Mr. Who was the match again?
Oh, Christina Von Eerie and her partner. Oh no,
Was it Mikey Shipper?
Mikey something, but I forget the last name.
Yeah, but she didn't care that Mikey was in the match.
Oh, she was happy to hit him.
Oh, she was happy to give Mikey a good couple of clean shots. But
Could have
Jesse,
hit him with a beer bottle if they would have gave her permission.
oh yeah. But Jesse, what is it about professional wrestling that and by the way, this delves into more topics that I want to make this very clear. The only women's sports team that's really made any real money over the last 20 years has been the Yukon women's team. But how did they do it? They became the most dominant thing you ever saw.
Right.
But Jesse, people want.
Until they lost recently.
Well, yeah, but people want. Well, they've been down for a couple of years, but all the talent's been going everywhere else.
Right.
But here's the deal: women want this, they want that. People get mad that the WNBA doesn't get sponsorships. Well, no one's watching. But the ones who bitch about it, you're also not watching. You're not even watching. Because here's the deal: if there's so many people so angry about fair pay in the WNBA, which by the way is good women's basketball, I enjoy the basketball in WNBA. I
watch the WNBA every year.
Yeah.
So I gotta tell people, just because to be fair, they're actually more athletic than the men.
Yeah.
But because everyone.
The women's NHL is actually really good hockey. It's just not as physical.
I keep saying that they should, at this point, basketball and hockey need to just integrate, because there's just no point in having separate leagues. because those women on ice can take that shit. That's like,
the Canadian women's hockey team are. They won a game in the Olympics on Olympic ice wearing a mask. So I mean, like, they're badass.
and most of those women in the WNBA could probably outshoot their male counterparts. So
Yeah.
It's really
Football and baseball are two different things, but there's reasons for that.
well, baseball is the third one I'll add. Football, I would be okay with it, but at certain positions,
Yeah.
there should not be a woman on the offensive line.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
As a wide receiver, quarterback,
Ladies and
corner,
gentlemen,
no problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be very clear. There are very few people in this world that are more overall athletic than the men that play defensive line in the NFL. Because what they're able to do at their size should not be legal.
They're monsters.
They're the monsters that don't live under your bed.
They're literally monsters.
Holy crap. Go look at Daniil Hunter. He might look skinny, but the things he can do athletically at 6'5", good Lord.
They're just monsters of mankind.
And I'm
but-
sorry, Jesse, we will not be accepting a trade for Daniil Hunter. We're going to bring him back.
Oh, now that you have another pass rusher, right?
Damn straight.
Yeah. Look how fickle you damn Viking fans are.
I'm not fickle.
Yeah, I'll be fickle about my roster moves, but don't ever question my love for the purple and gold.
But yeah, I've always hated this notion.
Yeah.
So I've talked about it on the show. I became a really huge traveling to watch indie shows guys back in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I did love was that it all felt really equal because the women would wrestle the men. There were female bookers booking men's matches.
Mikey Wild.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mikey. There's
There's
so much pro wrestling that happens. We forget.
You've been up since you got to get up at 4 a.m. I've probably been up since 4 a.m.
Yep.
But yeah,
I was sleeping.
good for you, you son of a beautiful person.
Hey, I'm old. I need my beauty rest.
There ain't that much time left on the Aztec calendar.
We're terrible.
Hey, no, yeah, there is. We reset it. So
Well, if you reset time with that. Okay, why am I getting on you? Usually I'm defending you. I'm sorry. This is
happens.
your fault.
I
This is
know.
your fault.
He's pointing to me for those who don't realize.
Pointing to Zach.
Yeah.
he's gonna get married next year. So then it's
Oh,
his
then
own
he'll
death,
get his
so.
ass whooped all the time. Then I'll get on
That's
him.
his own death.
Yeah.
So it's all
Like,
right.
I don't get my ass whipped now. I basically married the bitch 6 years ago. Right?
Yep.
Yep. But yeah, I've never understood it because when I go to those...
Because it's not the promoters. It's not even Vince.
It's
and by the
clearly
way,
about
it's
TV.
not even the TV people because they don't care as long as it brings in money. It's the
True.
people at home who barely watch this shit who apparently need something to get angry about.
You know what I just realized?
That's true.
What I just realized is you're right there. But it's still one of the... It does feel like... But they're hypocrites too, though.
Well, yeah.
Because they clearly have told Vince in the past that they don't really want those matches anymore. Just like they didn't. I understood getting rid of the bra and panties matches. That was
Yeah.
that's pretty outdated.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Pretty not okay.
Yeah. They're fine.
But if you want your kids to watch the show,
Well, no, I'm not gonna have the kids watch that,
Well,
but that's
okay.
all right.
You ain't getting that in the
that's
modern
Dad's
WWE.
time.
Sorry.
Just leave it.
Yeah, you're not.
even AEW, who has no kids watching their stuff,
Yeah, literally none.
wouldn't do that.
Not a single child watches that show.
Not a single person apparently under 21 watches their show.
I don't.
Under 18.
I don't let my kids
That's
watch
bullshit.
that.
It's under 21.
I don't let my kids watch that.
Well, yeah, but the demo's 18 to 49, so yeah.
You have an 18-year-old on the Nielsen thing, and clearly a 21-year-old could be watching.
That's fair.
The 18-year-old's actually out being responsible while the loser is watching AEW. Shots fired.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you know.
what I've never understood it because they deserve that equality.
Yeah.
So when you say they, you want women to have equality, but then these things are not okay. Well, just because it's just like the stupid story with the trans woman who was the swimmer, right?
Yeah.
And my big thing on that was, well, even before her transition, she was literally an average swimmer anyway. She wasn't a gold medalist.
No.
Like, she finally broke through.
Yeah.
And then some people were like, well, she shouldn't be competing with other women. 'Cause
She
was
followed the NCAA rule of 1 year of suppression.
correct.
Which, by the way, for those of you who are trying to argue that she still has the biological physicalness of a man, hormones play a lot in that. Sorry,
Right.
they do. And if the hormone
and
levels,
by the way, they can metrically measure that.
yes,
So like, there's really no
exactly.
like.
Yeah, no.
And so when it comes to women in wrestling, it's one of those things that it's disappointing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, guys, if we are actually equalitous, then it shouldn't matter.
Well, not
that
to mention the fact
Charlotte Flair is going to go against Roman Reigns that night.
Well, not only that, but it's like, okay, the main event at WrestleMania, outside of it's kind of the botch at the very, very end, was a good match between Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky. So
Sure.
they proved that they can main event.
Right.
Bianca's a star. I also think
Absolutely.
Bianca
yes.
could whoop half of that roster's ass
oh, for sure.
because she can lift Otis without a goddamn sweat bead broken.
She's an athlete in her own. She's a better athlete than most of the men on the roster.
Bianca Belair, and I'll say it, she's arguably a better athlete than 90% of what AEW's got.
Well, that's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
That's not even hard to say.
Hands down.
That's not even hard to say.
I don't
But
know what
but
kind of
it's
discussion
just
you're trying to
it's just
have there.
Leroy. I mean, in all seriousness, you've seen a few different eras than we have. What exactly do you think is the issue still with not allowing wrestling to just do whatever it wants? Why is it so? Why do people pay so much attention only when it's doing the wrong thing and not when it's doing its normal good stuff? Why do we have to wait for them to do something that's like, oh, you can't do that? Because remember, Vince McMahon, he kind of brought a lot of attention to the war in Afghanistan. Say what you want about the Muhammad Hassan thing and what finally got him pulled off of TV, but Vince, between the Rusev and Lana thing, he brings a lot of real life stuff into his stuff, and oddly enough, you get a lot more of a worldly view from Vince's TV than you do from even the news, because to do that you got to go to 2 different fucking news channels because nobody can fucking report the facts anymore. And yeah, CNN, I usually use you. Even you've gotten pretty fucking bad at it, so fuck off.
Oh yeah. No, people are still prejudiced about things like that. That it's bottom line.
I mean, for God's sakes, Jesse,
it's not going to change.
Jesse, Sasha Banks should have been main event in WrestleMania the first couple of years of her career.
Yeah.
She was that good. But people just, I don't know if they were, it's just, sadly, stuff has to happen in America before, a young black woman who was clearly better than 99% of the people she was in the ring with should have been given that chance.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's a stereotype with professional wrestling. It's still considered a man's world when it comes to that. Still.
Well, but here's the deal. I don't think it's the actual nature of the beast in wrestling. I'm talking about this comes from everybody outside of wrestling, because remember, wrestling has Becky Lynch do her thing. All of a sudden, it's all over all these sports sites. It's all over all this stuff because Becky was involved with Baron Corbin.
Right.
Yet, Becky Lynch was doing some of the damnedest best stuff of her career with the other ladies. Not a goddamn word is said.
And that's when it's okay, because it's women, men against men. If it happens the other way, oh my God, it's so wrong. It's not.
But I would like to sit down with a middle America type person who would call a TV station and complain and be like, what exactly is the problem here? I don't want my kids to watch it.
You can do it. I have no interest in talking to.
Well,
No, but I would love to talk to them because they'd be like, I don't want my kids to see it. Then fucking be a parent and turn the TV off. It's not that fucking hard. Leroy has no problem making sure his kids don't see some on TV. You got no issue with that.
Oh, I make sure they don't watch certain things. There's certain video games I play that they're nowhere near me when I'm playing it.
They still haven't seen Deadpool, which is there's a reason for that.
My son is 10. He goes, Deadpool, he's cool. And yep, you can't watch him. No, I can't, because there's not appropriate things. Their mother does not like me having them watch wrestling. She has nothing to do with wrestling. The only reason why she doesn't like it is because I like it.
Yeah.
And that could be the reason why some people do. It's because they're offended by what somebody thinks of this.
Right.
Or they think, well, this is all that wrestling is, because they're used to the Attitude Era with the bra and panty. Oh, that's the only thing that's going on. It's not the same. It's different.
I was about to say, it's changed so much in 17 years.
And not to mention
ridiculous.
the fact, I hate to say it, but you people that look at the bra and panties match and think that's what's still going on today, you're the same freaking people were the reason why the bra and panty matches were happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, for me to clarify, here's why I'm correct about that. Because the only way you could get women on TV was to objectify them sexually, because then you people seem to not care because you're like, oh, they're putting women in. It's like it's the old stripper argument. Who's really losing? It's not the stripper because they're making bank. It's the dude that's paying it.
They made a lot of money off of me in the past.
That's my point.
Yep.
The stripper thing's the oldest argument in America. That's like, oh, they're being exploited. Yeah. Guess who's being exploited? The dude that's there on a Tuesday afternoon dropping $300.
And the brothels in Texas are lucky I'm not a billionaire because they would make money off of me too.
That's my point. But it's just, okay, wrestling has changed with the times, arguably more than most sports, a la Jesse's still mad at the NCAA being like, you should have done the NIL thing about 20 years ago.
Kiss my ass, NCAA.
Yeah. Wrestling has
Give
changed,
Reggie Bush his Heisman back. Anyway.
Right.
but
Should have never given it back to him in the first place, in my opinion, Reggie. You should have kept that in your mantle.
there you go. But a lot of people haven't decided to change with it,
That's true.
and that's where the problem is. And
The problem is
is
that
it going to change? Probably not.
to Leroy's point about somebody not liking it because someone else does, now, I'm kind of guilty of this, but it's more in music because I'm a metal guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool to hate popular stuff, but then you grow up and you get in your 20s and you're like, I can still love my hardcore metal, but, okay, Lady Gaga's not awful.
No.
She's not as awful as I thought she was in high school, but she's still not my favorite. You can do that kind of stuff.
right,
But
right.
here's the
Yeah,
thing.
as a performer, they're good. You're just not your thing.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea music-wise. But here's the thing. You don't...
Well, let me make something clear.
Please do.
Oh, jeez.
Let me make something very clear.
Okay.
Ryan Cabrera is trash. What's his name? Scotty, not Scotty Atkins, but the Scotty kid from country. He's garbage. Florida Georgia line is trash.
I enjoy Florida
The
Georgia
baby
line.
is garbage.
I've enjoyed Florida Georgia line. And to be fair, the
Jesse.
baby...
Quit dogging on country. I'm going to slap you.
I love country.
He does.
Okay, some of the new stuff.
But that bro country
That's fair.
and some of that new hip hop.
Yeah.
Well, but to be fair,
not that
DaBaby,
good.
I
Not
think
my
it's-
style.
I think it's DaBaby is actually being credited with creating emo rap, and I'm like, okay, because Hollywood Undead hasn't existed for 10 years.
There we go.
But anyway,
I just wanted to get that out.
no,
All right,
it's fair.
I can't say anything like that about wrestling. No,
I
no.
know,
But,
yeah.
But musically,
Yes.
there is still garbage in the pop world.
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
But the thing
yeah.
about it is that it's cool to hate on it because so many people do actually enjoy it because
Right.
there are a lot of wrestling fans. The problem is a lot of them don't openly do it. I'll wear a wrestling shirt 7 days a week if I could and be like, I'm a wrestling fan. Fuck
Right,
you.
I
I
don't care.
could care less.
Just
But
like I wore my nerdy shirts.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care.
exactly. But it's just one of those things where, like, again, people don't. But see, Jesse, this is the AEW fan argument. You don't want to admit that WWE is getting better. The same people who don't want to admit that wrestling has actually made women more prominent features. Now, yes, folks, get over it. Sex sells. The guys don't wear shirts, and apparently we still have this weird thing where you can't have women, exposing themselves on television, but guys do it all day. Don't get me started on that
I
argument.
gotta
That's
be
just
honest,
a weird
though,
thing.
I mean, and I don't usually talk about it often because I really don't notice it when it comes to women's wrestling because I'm usually more focused on their character and the wrestling.
yeah.
But if you watch a Charlotte match in the U.S., there's not a whole lot holding that whole two-piece together.
No, there's not.
No, not really. No.
Which bothers Trish Stratus because we've heard her talk a lot of times about
Because she was basically forced to wear a one-piece.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and so was Lita.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, between Charlotte, my girl Sasha,
Yeah.
like, if we're being real about the shit, if they listen, we trip over Nikita Lyons right now. But if they told Bailey, right, or even Miss Makova,
Yeah.
if they told Bailey, or heaven fucking forbid, with all the pictures she's been posting, Rhea Ripley, hey, you know what? Just go out with like knee pads and then boots, and then just wear the short underwear with the short top. No one would pay attention to their wrestling anymore.
No.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, Bailey is a banging body.
Yes.
But the reason
yeah.
we've never completely noticed is because she's such a great wrestler.
The other thing about it is that, again, what is it with...
Yeah, Makova. I can't fawn over her anymore
because Nikita Lyons is just there.
because I actually realized who her husband is,
Mm-hmm.
and I respect him too much.
Yeah.
But if you divorce her, son,
Heel, spray bottle.
All bets are off.
Oh, I'm gonna be a heel in more than one way. I promise.
Oh yeah, no.
But yeah, no. The argument's always been crazy of why men and women.
This is the weird thing I've never understood. What is the difference between? And I'm serious about it. What is the difference between seeing a woman in a bikini and seeing a woman in matching lingerie? How is it? There's not much to the imagination that's different on that.
I think so.
There really is.
Well, see,
really is not.
See, and I've thought about that too. It's like, bikini is not much more different than underwear.
It's literally the same amount of material. Folks.
It is.
Guys, Pornhub is free. So, like, it just throws everyone's arguments. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I can go to xhamster.com. I know I'm giving out porn sites, but I'm just.
That's all right.
I'm just like
they're getting a free plug, so it's fine.
By the way, please throw us some dollars if you get some traffic.
I got no problem with Pornhub throwing me some dollars.
I'm just, but like.
They make a lot of money.
Like, you can literally go see naked women all you want on the internet. Like,
yeah,
it's not hard.
Well, yeah,
no.
But all to say
but
is
you can't do it on. But you can't do it on network television.
Naked men too, if that's your thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like.
But that's the thing, Jesse. Jesse. The men thing is once again not the argument. It's the fact that we can't have an intergender match because they're mad about what's going to happen with the women.
See,
no one's worried about the guys.
I think the swimsuit underwear is like the underwear is kind of. Underwear is hidden. It's intimate. So that's where that comes from.
Well, now we're talking 1950s, 1960s ideals that need to shut the fuck up about.
Well, no, but
it's crap.
I guess I'm old school with that. Is like, if I'm going to see a girl in underwear, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be privately when I'm alone with somebody,
I've seen
not
so many
whatever.
women naked in my life that it just doesn't bother me. But when it comes to
it's still an enjoyable thing, but it doesn't bother me.
half and half.
That's fair.
Well, I've seen a lot of naked women in my life.
Depends on the age and the
fair enough.
The
I don't know, man.
Gravity of the breast.
I have seen some 60-year-olds taking some jogs around here.
Oh yeah,
make a young man feel spry, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But when it comes to women and men wrestling, like I said, it's a bullshit thing because I don't know how many times in action movies, Marvel.
Yeah.
How many times have I watched the male villain punch the shit out the one?
But hold on, Jesse. But
you know what I mean?
But hold on, Jesse. That's that's a scenario that could never happen because they're superheroes. And I'm like, wrestling's been characters from the dawn of fucking time.
Is booked.
Well, it's like Dalton, prime example of a young kid. He doesn't watch wrestling. He knows about it, but he goes, "Well, there's some female." I say, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you just watch them because she's hot."
It helps. Not gonna say it doesn't hurt.
I was like, looking at Sierra. Sierra's a beautiful young lady, but that's the last thing that we think about when we see her in the ring. We see her in the ring as a performer and how she can kick
Jesse,
ass.
The first thing I think about usually when I see Sierra is
she can whip your ass.
She can whoop the shit out of you.
Yeah. And I told that the Dalton.
It's not even how she looks. It's just like.
But to Jesse's point. So let's take the Four Horsewomen as an example. Charlotte, and I'm not going to make the Vince thing. We all know that's there. Right. She was, I think, naturally a blonde.
Yes.
So maybe the blonde hair, but the name also kind of gravitated more towards that. Right. But then, okay, are we going to forget that Bayley had an entire hugging section, basically? Like, people got behind Bayley, and she was, and again, screw all of you if you're mad at this because this was the package. She was the most average-looking person in. Right. Because remember, Becky had the steampunk look, so that's made her stand out. Sasha was the boss, so there was a little more risqueness to it. Right. But then Charlotte was the blonde. Right. But that's American culture. Bayley was the one who arguably for a period was the biggest thing they had in the Four Horsewomen because Bayley could go.
Right. I agree.
Which proved that. Oh, oddly enough, a wrestling audience can be the least sexist audience as long as you can, I don't know, go in the ring.
I mean, that goes for the males, too.
I got a couple of names for Jesse here. Back to music. Jesse.
To be fair to Zach's, especially Zach's fiance, she has said, too, like, when you think of pro wrestling, it feels very homoerotic at times. From the outside looking in.
Well, but to be fair, Jesse, are we all going to forget about what the Sunset Strip in the 80s looked like?
Yeah.
Insanely gay. And I mean that in the most positive way possible. Yes. But yeah, it's just like insanely like these dudes might be all gay. And that's cool.
But no, hold on. Let me explain something. So the things that society usually looks down on, the overall arcing society, rock music, wrestling. Okay, quick question. We're supposed to be we're the ones that you look down on. We're the black sheep, whatever.
Right.
Quick question, Jesse. Is anyone Is anyone in rock and roll going to tell you that these names aren't badass regardless of gender? And let me throw them out there.
Okay.
The Runaways, Lita Ford, Joan Jett, Heart,
Yeah, I agree. Badass.
Hailstorm,
Totally.
Dorothy.
It's so funny.
Can you go? That's all we care about.
You bring up Lita Ford. And
Damn
it's funny.
right.
My first thoughts every time I hear like Joan Jett or Lita Ford, I'm just like, two of the most influential women on my musician's career.
Yeah.
And they also look great doing it.
I don't even think of their looks at all, though.
No, you can't.
The first thing I think of is their songwriting.
When I think about
like,
Lita Ford could arguably play guitar as good as any guitarist
God,
of the
yes.
80s.
Without
and,
doubt.
and Joan Jett is the living, breathing embodiment of rock and roll.
Right.
God, yes.
When you think of rock and roll, two people, Lemmy and Joan Jett.
Absolutely.
End of conversation.
Right.
They are rock and roll.
That's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
I mean, she was when I was a young child. That's
And by
who
the
I
way,
watched it.
Jesse,
Oh,
you and I
I
have
loved it.
researched it. There wasn't a single all-male band that didn't look at Joan Jett and say, "Oh, you're good for a chick." They were like, "Oh, you could fucking go." Like,
she can rock.
That's unlike the fans back then.
yeah,
The bands actually respected them because of their musicianship.
yeah. Oddly enough, because I
No, they unfortunately dealt with a lot of sexism back then because it was the 80s. But
well, mostly from the record labels,
Yeah.
not from the actual bands on the
Right.
Yeah.
rosters. But it's this weird thing. Because Allison and I have talked about this numerous times. There's a difference now, and it's happened in the last 10 years more. There are feminists, and then there are feminazis.
Oh,
The
yeah.
feminazis need to just admit you want better. If you just admit that you want better for women, I'm not going to get as mad at you. But stop using the word equality when you want better. Women should get paid the same amount on the dollar. I'm not denying that. Right. But at the same time, if you want that, I'll give you that. Can I freaking get Sierra versus freaking Joey? Because it's probably going to happen at some point.
That's going to happen at some point.
If Joey messes up again, she going to have to give him an ass whooping.
She's going to have to whoop his ass.
But can I get a Sierra?
I'll sit there and watch that. Go,
Yeah,
go,
for sure.
go first here.
But can I get a Sierra versus a Mikey Wild
Right.
on national cable syndicated television? Right. And you know what? At the end of the day, this all comes back to one thing, no matter what we say, no matter how many facts we bring in.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, shut the fuck up and don't watch.
There we go.
Change the fucking channel.
Turn the channel.
I'm sorry, we live in a country, and this is a little diatribe of mine, and Leroy's the prime example of the good part about it. Parents apparently think it's up to the TV networks to control what their kids watch. And yet Leroy's sitting here like, oh, there's no child block on my TV, but they know what not to watch, because otherwise they won't get their ass kicked.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one That's the one thing people say about my kids.
Yeah.
You have some great kids. They're well mannered. I'm like, well, thank you. You do a good job. I'm like, well, I try my best. It's a hard job.
I love how you get in public and you like outwardly publicly threaten them, and no one who actually knows you cares because they know you're not actually going to hit your kids, but they know. But they think you will.
and then my girlfriend, she has some younger kids there. They're close to her age, and she has said, and her mom has said to me, "Wow, your kids have a good influence over the other kids because they seem to act better when they're around." I'm like, well,
it's
thanks,
weird. It's weird. You're a parent.
I said, thanks. I'm glad that my kids learn from me, and then they can kind of not intentionally but inadvertently rub off on somebody else saying, hey, this is how we are.
Again, this always comes back to D-Lo said it to you and me. You don't have to watch this.
Just
if
turn
you
the
don't
channel.
want to watch, change the channel. Here's the deal. Becky Lynch goes on Twitter for getting slammed by Baron Corbin, and a bunch of women who just, for some reason, have a Twitter channel, even though they don't tweet anything, they see it on, like, these news sites that they subscribe to, and now they're pissed. And I'm just like, could you just keep scrolling? Is it really that hard? Now, don't get me wrong.
It is.
We're the last people here because we gave Toni Storm, and Toni Storm's happy again. I heard the quote.
Right.
All love to her on that.
Right.
But here's the deal. With the whole thing with me and mental illness, social media doesn't cause mental illness problems. You let it get to you. I read thousands of things every day on social media that I don't agree with or I don't like. I just keep fucking scrolling. But my whole thing is that, Jesse, wrestling is like the last place where, congratulations to that young lady in San Francisco for the Giants who, coached for, I think it was first base in that Major League game.
I think it's Sarah something. I'm going to find the name.
Yeah. But congrats to her for bringing that. But, Jesse, if a woman because remember, Mark Cuban said back when Brittany Griner was coming out of college, by the way, all love to her. I hope she's doing okay.
Apparently she's out now and she'll be coming home soon. So.
Okay, probably won't be playing in that league anymore. But
No.
But no, my biggest thing is Mark Cuban said that if Brittany Griner could play, he would have drafted her number 1 overall in that draft. Because I mean, I think she was eligible to be drafted in the NBA draft if an owner wanted to take the plunge.
I think they do have the option, but I've always, like I said with the NBA, I wouldn't even give the owners an option.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
seriously, I'd be like, you don't have an option. The game is integrated now.
Yeah.
So.
But Jesse, we said this. We recently had one of my favorite days in baseball, Jackie Robinson Day. Wonderful. The
great Jackie
the great Jackie.
Robinson.
But see, Jesse, here's
Love
the thing.
Love it.
Jackie Robinson, again, movie 42 was done so well. Rest
Oh.
in peace, Chadwick
Chadwick
Boseman.
Boseman.
That's
Wonderful
actually
job. Oh, my God.
Now I have a soft spot for baseball. That's my favorite performance he ever did, even over Black Panther. But here's the thing: that owner was not a racist. That owner did say, "I fell back in love with the game because Jackie Robinson." And again, Jesse, I'm not saying that. Look, I'm not saying that the correct way to fix racism.
To be fair, if not for the owner, I don't even
think Jackie would have gotten that option. Yeah.
shot, yeah.
But Jesse, I'm
Yeah.
not here to debate whether Martin Luther King or Malcolm X were right. I'm not here to debate that. But here's the
they
deal.
were both right
Well, yeah,
In their
they
way,
were,
yes.
in their own ways.
Yeah,
Yes.
but Jesse, Jackie Robinson was the right guy because he got in the sport and he realized this is a gentleman's sport, whether we like it or not. He had to do a certain thing. He had to eat a bunch of shit inside. I can't imagine what he went through internally. But
Him nor Hank Aaron. to
right,
be
exactly.
honest.
But
Oh,
because
yeah.
of the nature of the sport, much
Right.
like when Tiger Woods broke into golf, that's a gentleman's sport. Tiger kind of just had to take what was coming his way, although Tiger didn't have much to take because
I was
Tiger
about to
whooped
say he
everybody's ass.
revolutionized the game so much. They all just
Augusta
step up.
National is the most beautiful course in the world, but they changed it because of Tiger Woods.
Tiger was so damn good that they all had to change.
They
with
had
him.
to change the whole course.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
Jesse,
yeah.
I don't know how you look in wrestling
Mm-hmm.
and not think to yourself, okay, we know it's a work. And then you turn around, you look at SVU, and you're like, okay, pretend to rape a woman there. My kid can watch that. But Becky getting end of days because Becky instigated it, they can't watch.
I was about to say it was a part of the story that she really did instigate that.
Yeah.
He avoided
yeah.
that end of days for like 4 weeks.
He did. He did. But
And of course, it got a massive pop because it was a really good moment.
Yeah.
And then of course helped the babyface Seth with the win.
Yeah.
But I've always thought to myself when it comes to pro wrestling and this thought that the women can't be in the ring with the men and take the bumps with the men and all.
because by the way, not to interrupt you, but the idea that women can't be a draw, we put that to bed 20 years ago.
clearly bullshit.
Yeah.
Well,
WWE put that to bed 4 years ago. That's clearly
see,
bullshit.
Yeah.
they're talking.
AEW can't figure it out, but that's a whole nother
Well,
story.
in their own way, by accident, they've put it to bed too.
yeah.
In their own way, by accident.
They got to fix the Nyla
Let me
Rose
make sure
situation.
before I let
but-
Leroy speak, I said those words clearly.
Yeah.
In their own way,
There you
Yes.
by accident. Go ahead, Leroy.
But people are talking about this. Corbin and Becky.
Yeah.
Did people forget? Didn't the Dudleys 3D Mae Young?
No.
Through a table?
No. He powerbombed her off the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That wasn't the 3D.
Well, I'm like, did people forget
Mae
that
Young was happy to
But-
take those
that a
bumps.
But-
young
hold on,
that a
hold-
person, an 80-year-old
Yeah.
But
Woman
remember,
took a bump,
But
and nobody was
remember-
mad about that.
But remember, like I've said before, TV executives in the 90s didn't listen to critics the way they do now in the 2000s. I don't know what happened, but back then...
Because there seems to be actual financial consequences when people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There weren't... This is the thing about the 90s. I love the 90s because musically... Record executives were like, I don't know if you're ska, I don't know if you're rap, I don't know if you're rock. Fuck it, let's put it out. Let's see what
I
happens.
was about to say.
They didn't give
record labels just put anything out in the 90s.
But
So-
nowadays, everything has to be cookie cutter, the same shit. Okay, let's remake Katy Perry 7 times, and by the 7th one, I'm like, this is the most useless woman in all
she
of
was
music.
the other one on my shit list. Go ahead. continue.
But anyway,
So,
That's
I
fair.
mean, honestly, right now, do you think there would be a lot of slack from them if that happened now? That if somebody, like Dudley, the Dudleys, what they did to Mae Young, would they be?
Well, I mean,
would they cut a lot of slack now if that happened
I don't
this time?
I think it just depends on the situation. I mean, remember, Rey Mysterio hit Nia Jax with a 619.
He did.
Randy Orton RKO'd her, and then they both threw her the fuck out the ring.
Yeah.
And there was no words on that.
Yeah.
And it seemed like no one had a problem with that.
But what and why? It's
And
because
and before Moxley left, they were thinking about
That was on
doing-
pay-per-view, though.
Right.
That's the thing.
But even the fact that Moxley and Nia were talking about having their own feud on Raw,
Yeah.
and there was actually some interest in that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Moxley left. But, like, so I think WWE was going to try it again.
Yeah.
But then, of course, when Moxley left, they left the thought of it in the background.
But what's the difference? Because of what Nia looks like, the way she's
Probably
built?
because of her size more than anything.
Yeah. So that's
But
the
now
bad part.
the
Is like,
hypocrite
what's the
comes out
difference?
I know.
because
I
Yeah.
agree.
now it's
She's a woman.
Now it's a
Doesn't
size
matter.
argument, and
Right.
Nia has to deal with the fact that she's not only black, but she's a bigger woman.
Because I think storyline next week, if Drew Gulak decided to German suplex Charlotte Flair, he would be in his right.
Yes,
After getting slapped and put in that, totally.
but even though Drew's an amazing worker and would
Right.
almost set her down,
Yes.
Drew is going to be the next guy WWE cuts because they're going to get so many calls at Titan Tower, and I'm just like, leave it the fuck alone.
I'm waiting for the day that Roman Superman punches a woman in the ring.
Yeah.
And what people do in WWE is like, well, yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, he's not
so
going. He's not going anywhere.
I don't
But
know
here's
what
the
you
deal,
want us
Jesse.
to do.
He's the
fans
tribal
will-
chief. That she didn't acknowledge
He's the
him.
face
He's
of the
done.
company.
Yeah,
He's
but
going nowhere.
Jesse, the fans will pop and be there the next week.
Oh,
That's not an issue.
They'll get a major boost depending on which female it is, especially if it's Charlotte Flair.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm watching next week. Do this again.
There
Oh, yeah.
there will be, as my son says, there will be a whole heap. Yes.
Yes,
You can't say
yes.
that other word, but you know
Yeah.
what they're going to say.
But so it's just to kind of wrap that up because there is one more thing we need to get to, mostly because I just want to get rid of it. We have to go back to
Okay.
AEW.
Man, Maria
but-
Kanellis.
She took a triple super kick.
And
Yeah,
in New
yeah.
Japan, she took one of the nastiest spears I've ever seen in my life on
Yeah.
a woman. And just but their culture is different.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't care.
Here's the other thing. Every
they
time
care about women, but
Yeah.
like
Every
not
time-
enough to
Not that much.
every
Yeah.
time that from now on for the rest of my life, if I ever have a woman who's just a super Karen like that and comes up and says something, I'm finding them the Asuka Minoru Suzuki tape, and I'm just like, there you go.
Here, watch this.
You think Japan's so this, so that?
Let me be very, very clear. Do not do what Minoru Suzuki did to Kyle-chan. That was so bad, his partner broke character and started slapping him.
Yep. But now we have to get
Oh,
this.
shit.
Now we have to do this only because Jesse's been wanting to get to it, and I want to get it over with. Jesse, there is a new go home heat candidate in AEW. It's also the new power couple. Are we done with Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, and have they done it to themselves?
Well,
Yes,
and then-
we're ending with this, but
and
yeah,
then-
we gotta get it
and
over
then,
with.
And then booking-wise, they put the championship right back on them.
You're actually sympathetic for Scorpio Sky. Hilarious that ever happened. AEW did one thing in 2022 we didn't give them. You know what? Congratulations. You made Jesse have sympathy for Scorpio
Didn't
Sky.
think it could be done because he just became my favorite wrestling podcaster.
Because of that.
Because that's all he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you just did.
This
to
is
who could've been
also
the best
very
babyface.
WWE like to bring the real life story into the freaking ring.
You see, every time I mention these things, more people are now. Every time I mention them, are going like, "God, "Dude, he's got a point." Like if WWE did this and we got mad, we need to
If
get mad about it
WWE
now.
brought up Adam Cole to the main roster and he got beat by Roman 2 weeks in a row, they'd be like, leave for AEW. He gets beat twice in a row by Adam Page, and everyone's like, Cole's just fine. I'm like, how? The booking is the exact same thing. It's the lettering
Yep.
that's different. And in reality, it's only one different letter.
And he lost to a less credible. And I love Adam Page, but he lost to a less credible guy.
Yep.
Let me be insanely clear about this.
Yeah.
He ain't a babyface no more.
No.
You've put him in the Cody Rhodes situation.
Yep.
Yep.
Sammy Guevara is in the Cody Rhodes situation.
We said from the get-go that is their personal life. We don't care. But as Jesse also pointed out, you bring that shit on screen, now we going to talk about that.
right.
Now we going to talk about
Right.
it.
You can't bitch about it because you put it out.
You
in
put
their
it out
face.
there. Madden, Matt and Adam dealt with their personal issues on live television.
I have very rarely seen Jimmy and Naomi on television together.
Yep.
So all I'm saying is if you put your personal life out there, you put it within a story.
Total Divas never counted. We all know that.
Right.
It never counted.
But I've always said though, like when they, by the way, they have no on-screen chemistry, so I'm guessing they'll never do it again. But when you put
Seth and Becky
together,
oh, there's no I love you both. I do.
There was no on-screen
Allison is in love with Becky, but folks, they're on screen. They're the worst couple I've ever seen. They're so bad on camera.
It was awkward.
Yeah, it really.
Like he acted like he didn't want to touch her. I'm like,
I know,
dude, you're engaged to her.
I know.
Oh, but you can hug her at a concert, but you can't show affection on television?
That's exactly my thing.
Like what?
It's almost like they tried so hard to not have it be a thing, but they went along with it at the same time.
Well, apparently they said they didn't want to do it, but apparently Seth is the one who pitched it.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't have pitched it. You knew Vince was going to say yes.
Yes! Vince is going to go with that all day. But back to these two insufferable jackasses. You two went from me defending you to now I got none to defend.
This story has actually made me not like Ty Conti.
Right?
And I've always liked Ty Conti.
Yeah.
Even when she was not humble enough in NXT.
Yeah.
I'm like, she just needs to be humble, but I see the talent there. She's special. And then when she came to AEW, she worked and worked and worked, and I was like, I'm in. You know, she can speak a little better, but she's still young, 26.
Yeah.
That'll come in time. But I'm there.
But this.
And now this, I'm like, get the fuck off my television. You know, it's bad when Paige Van Zant comes out and they're fighting, and I could care less. I don't care about these two women.
No.
To be fair, I only cared about Paige Van Zant earlier in her career.
Yeah.
Because I think she did compete on the UFC.
You've already said, yeah.
But
you've already had your rant about how you
yeah.
feel about Paige Van Zant.
Oh, yeah.
When Paige Van Zant became all elite and all these people were happy, I'm just like, I will sick Jesse on you in a heartbeat, and he will prove to you why you shouldn't care about this.
I'll murder your love.
Yeah.
Paige Van Zant.
Yes.
Like you want her husband to murder me, I will murder your love for Paige Van Zant. But yeah, by the way, I could take Travis. He's a bitch. But here's the thing. I don't understand. If you don't want it out there, then why do this? And then if you don't want to be booed like now you're going to be maliciously booed, why would you do
and
this
that's
story?
not and see, this is where Tony's, and again, it's not bash on Tony, but Tony did it to himself.
This is where writers matter.
Well, not only that, but this is where
this
is where his inexperience in the wrestling business will come in, and he's gonna think, oh, they're getting booed, so they've got heat. No, that's go home heat.
Right.
They want Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti off their television.
Let's go away heat.
They want them go. And by the way, Tony, you boys, the Bucks, those boos are starting to get a little more loud.
Because I think even their fans are starting to see, dude, where are you guys just getting these wild-ass title shots all the time from?
Out of nowhere, the Bucks are still the number one tag
Like,
team.
even people now with Cody.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're official right now, but they're always in the top 5, and I'm like, I never fucking see your ass anymore. And by the way, folks, they ain't doing dark. Are you kidding me?
Not a chance in hell.
They ain't doing dark.
Not anymore, not since it's now in like year 2.5.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing. Like you were this beloved babyface, Sam. He was. And then he finally got from underneath Chris Jericho, which I thought was a positive. I'm like, that could only be good for you, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing you decide
it's almost like when Cody lost the ladder match, he handed the heat over to
right.
Sammy Guevara.
Well, because
I think all the heat left Cody when he handed Sammy the belt.
What I sense is regret amongst that audience.
Oh, yeah.
Because really what you were mad about was Brandy and all them always being around him.
The heat was Cody looked better than them because he had an entourage. Right. Because, Jesse, I'm not here to bash because we're all wrestling fans.
Right.
The average AEW fan is stereotypically not the person who has, but not many wrestling fans normally have a bunch of friends anyway, but they were the outwardly portrayal of that stereotype. Right. That's the fan base. Right. WWE's a little different. They're more family oriented, but you know, that's the deal. But they got mad because Cody came in and he sat there and he puffed out his chest and he kind of came off as better. Problem is, WWE's been doing that for years, but they've presented people like that, so people
Right.
got it. The problem is AEW fans, and this is the biggest thing you guys can't deny. You want every single person in that locker room. That's why you cheer for somebody like a Joey Janela, which you even gave up. You didn't even cheer for him, you just gave up on the guy. But
Right,
this is
for real.
why you love your indie darlings more than you like when Sammy got big, when this guy, because you want everyone to be about AEW, not about themselves. They have no ego. It's about the company. MJF's about to tell you all to go fuck yourselves and go get himself a nice little payday. Sammy Guevara is now being presented as a mega heel better than you because, I mean, folks, we're not taking looks away from Ty Conti. Ain't nobody doing that. But
The problem with Sammy Guevara now is outside of Darby Allin,
yeah,
outside because even Page has seemed to have lost his momentum.
yeah.
Good job, guys. Like seriously, good
This
job.
company took so much momentum in the last 2 years, and they kill it faster than anybody.
I don't.
Oh God, yes.
How do you make me not like the ending to Joe and Minoru Suzuki when all you had to do was just cut the camera, be done?
That might have been the hottest match of the night, and they're basically working Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
They're not really even working AEW. Those two are just working Ring of Honor,
yeah.
and it's going to be such a contrast to see the Ring of Honor stuff and the AEW stuff. We're going to enter a very interesting age of AEW.
Because here's the deal, folks. The second that you go to guys like
that's another reason why they're not going anywhere. Because the
Yeah.
Ring of
Oh,
Honor
yeah.
stuff is going to be so good,
Yeah.
it'll allow them.
But here's
to
the deal.
start to hit
The
over
second
$1
you
million.
try to tell the Ring of Honor guys to start doing shit the way Dynamite's
they'll
booked,
laugh in your face.
they going to tell you to go back to your little toys and book your AEW crap because
The only reason those guys aren't more well known is because that conservative company did not give a shit about pro wrestling.
yep,
They didn't want to fund them.
nope.
They put them in the worst time slots possible. Sinclair did. They didn't. They were. I think they were hoping that
Now, I
them
think-
going out of business happened sooner.
Now I think that MAW being where they're at to start is good.
well, MAW is in a good spot. 'Cause like I said, that's a great move for them because that's local.
Yes.
That's regional.
Yeah.
And that's where MAW's growth is currently happening.
Yeah.
If they get more on a national level,
The time slot needs to change.
you leave St. Clair.
Yeah.
Get out that contract quick.
Yeah.
Hurry. Get the fuck out of there.
Oh yeah.
I say that to my buddy Eric Nordstrom from DPW as well. Get out that contract. If Sinclair comes calling and you've gotten better than local and regional, get the hell out of that. Quick.
But back to this in the sense that they almost create their own go-home heat. And I don't even mean the wrestlers. I mean Tony's booking creates go-home. Vince is... When did Vince create go... When was the last time Vince created go-home heat? With
Go away heat with wrestlers?
Go away heat.
Roman Reigns. I can actually comfortably say Roman Reigns.
Which is fair. He fixed it
Yeah.
because we're all now like, well, where was this?
I don't even think he fixed it. I
Roman.
think he was smart to listen to Roman and let
Oh yeah,
Roman
yeah,
fix it.
no, 100%. But my point is that there's
Slash Paul Heyman.
Right.
Because what foreshadowing. Remember, he mentioned in 2017 during the second part of the Brock feud.
Yeah.
He's like, I could come work for you.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Me introducing you. And the pop.
Yeah.
Like, and the internet went crazy. Like, dude, if they put Roman with Paul, that would be fucking crazy. Genius.
Yeah.
And we're getting it now.
Yep.
But, like, let's be real. We should also thank the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
if
yeah.
not for the pandemic, you'd still be getting babyface Roman.
Yeah. But my whole thing about it is that
And thank God we didn't get the freaking Roman
There's-
and Goldberg match.
yeah, there's no saving Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti at this point. Now they're not helping their case,
Yeah. They're not.
but the problem is that
I disagree.
that audience is not going to accept
I
it.
disagree.
No.
You can save Ty Conti. She's going to be the easiest one to save. You want
True.
to know why? All I just got to do is get her away from all this stuff and get back to trying to be the women's champion.
That or I don't know, can we actually get
Put her back with Anna Jay.
Can we get Anna Jay on television
Right.
at all?
Right.
At all? It's a-
Maybe.
I am not saying this as a negative to Anna Jay the person because she didn't do this to herself, but apparently the only thing that they think she's good for is being the girlfriend of Jungle Boy. And she's not even on TV doing that.
Dude, she hasn't been on Dark Elevation in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
She's not hurt.
No.
There's no injury report on her, nothing.
No.
So, but Sammy's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sammy's going to be a tough one because unlike Cody, who booked himself into that corner on accident, especially when he took himself away from being world champion.
Yeah.
It was, by the way, it's like I said, it's going to be so weird when he shows up in WWE. And I predicted the first thing he's going to do is he's going to want to be a world champion. And it's going to feel so insulting to that AEW hardcore crowd. They're not going to like him anymore. Because to them, that's going to mean he believes, which is true, that the WWE World Championships are more important, which they are.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. Well,